What a doozy, Void Crew. We're here with another live stream, another one, another day. We're going to talk transfer news. We got Carlito, we got Prime coming, Lewis a few weeks up. We're going to open the panel to you guys. You guys are going to jump in about 45, 50 minutes. So let's roll the intro and let's get introducing everyone in a sec. Let's go.
We fucking got him.
And we're back. Big up to everyone who's joined. We got 6 people in here. Prime's just joined at the back. Big up Prime. We'll get Prime in here now. I'm loving that picture. I've seen that picture. I'm loving the profile picture. I'm surprised it's not Lampard today.
Oh yes.
But we got Prime. We got Carlito here. Let's go. Let's introduce Carlito. How are you today? Tell me. Talk to me. Carlito, you there?
Yeah, man. Hey guys,
Yeah,
what's
tell
up?
me,
How
are
we
you?
doing?
All good, mate. Let us know. Who are you? Who are you to the audience? I want to tell the audience.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm Carlito. I work with Worldwide Chelsea. I used to coach. I used to play. I have very strong opinions, in particular about the state of Chelsea Twitter. And yeah, I really want to talk about Barcelona because they fucking piss me off.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get into all that. We're gonna get into everything. Kounde did everything. Barcelona, Chelsea, Boehly, and then we got Prime. I'm guessing he's in a Starbucks again. I don't know where he's at. Drinking a coffee. It's like I don't know. He's never at home. You know. Prime. I was thinking this. Prime and Nippon are the exact
He's
same.
worse than Nippon. He's worse than Nippon.
Prime and Nippon. There was that Prime. Where are you at? Where are you at now?
I am at Cafe Nero.
Cafe Nero right now. He's just sitting here, he's drinking a coffee. It's actually quiet there, actually, so it's good. He's got the shades on inside as well. You know, rocking the shades. But Prime, let us know. Who are you? How are you today as well?
I'm Prime. That is Prime. That's my socials down there. Yeah, Chelsea fan. People don't always agree with my opinions. Chelsea fans don't always agree with what I have to say. Some Chelsea fans would say I'm not a Chelsea fan, but you know, yeah. Thank you, Matt, for having me on your channel. I've been on a few times before, and I'm always tuning in whether it's live or I'm having to watch playback or anything. But yeah, let's get into this.
Yeah, big Prime. And guys, can you guys see the connection here? Why I asked in particular these two to come on, and including me, because us three have very different opinions to everyone else. A lot of us, you know, get criticized every single week in the community. Probably not as much as I do, but that's why I put you guys in particular, because we all have very different, strong opinions. But we look at the realistic standpoint, and we're not playing a video game, as Carlito would say.
Yeah.
But yeah, let me just read the chat. We'll say hello to everyone. So be able to fly. Yes, we got the panel coming soon. We got Coach's Corner here. Please get the Ligt Raphinha, and we will cook. We'll get into all of that as well. Chelsea players are looking ever since to say who? Sam Smith, Chelsea been in talks for days for De Ligt, a firm cash bid. And yeah, we're going to talk about De Ligt, but again, we're getting linked with pretty much everyone. Everton's, Burnley's, everyone there. We've got 5 people in here, guys. Everyone's tuning in. Notification just went out. So let's all like the video. And let's get into the first topic. We're talking Raphinha. Now, I know we'll start structured and then we'll kind of go to a normal lower stream as we can say, and everyone will just jump in. But I'll start with Carlito because I know Carlito wants to come at this first.
Yep.
What's your thoughts on this, man? Raphinha, does he even want to play for Chelsea? What's happening with the situation? Tell us.
Okay, so number one, everybody needs to relax a little bit on this, because if you're that insecure so as to not want to sign a player because we're not first choice, then a lot of big clubs would not be signing a lot of big players, because Haaland was not, interested in going to Man City before Real Madrid. Real Madrid was Haaland's first choice. So do you think Man City should just say, fuck that, I don't want to buy Haaland because he wasn't top of the list? Okay, Bayern Munich was not the first choice of Mane. Mane also wanted to go to Real Madrid first. So should Bayern feel really bad about themselves and say, you know what, we don't want to buy Mane because we weren't first on the list? Harry Kane didn't want to stay at Tottenham. His first choice was to go to Man City last year. He stayed at Tottenham. Should Tottenham fans feel totally insecure and sad about Harry Kane? No, shut up. Shut up. If we're fifth on Raphinha's list, I don't give a shit. I don't care. My problem is that I don't actually think he's that good. I think that Dembele is streets ahead of him as a footballer. And I also think that if Raphinha was a really, really, really strong player at 25, he would have been on a better team than Leeds, because before that, he was at Rennes, and before that, he was at Sporting. These are not high-profile clubs, and Leeds almost just got relegated. So is he really that good? I know it's only one man of 11 people on a pitch, but at the same time, I've seen him play plenty. And I don't know how he's demanding this much interest, and I don't know how he's got the balls to string this along. If he wants Chelsea, he should be coming to Chelsea. But at the same time, I get it. This may be a power play with Deco, with Barcelona and all that stuff. But, I don't think Barcelona has the money. So we'll probably end up getting him. If we don't, we're going to get Dembele. But at the end of the day, I think Dembele is a better player. And I think that all the Chelsea fans that are bitching about this don't understand how hard these transfers really are.
I agree to an extent, to the point that, yes, these players don't want it as a first choice, but I think personally, I'll always want a player who wants to play for us. Again, if they don't, that's fine. At least they come on that pitch and put 100%. I understand people's different opinions on Raphinha. To me, he's, you got to watch him to dictate him. And obviously a lot of people will agree with that. Prime, thoughts on Raphinha? Does he want Chelsea? Do you want him at Chelsea? What are you saying about it?
Does he want Chelsea? Yes, because we're second on his list. It's just that Arsenal is his number one choice. I don't see why that's a bad thing. Timo Werner, he wanted to go to Liverpool before he joined us. Havertz wanted to go to Liverpool before he joined us. Like you were saying, Mbappe, he wanted to go to Real Madrid. He only stayed at PSG because they just offered him vastly more money. Tchouameni wanted to go to Liverpool, but now he's just signed for Real Madrid. And I don't know, maybe it's the whole Lukaku thing that's just warped people's minds and stuff. People always have preferences. We've agreed, we've agreed personal terms with Raphinha. We've agreed a price tag that's been accepted by Leeds. The only thing is, his first preference is Barcelona. It's just like with us and Arsenal. Raphinha wouldn't mind going to Arsenal. It's just that he would rather come to us than go to Arsenal. It doesn't mean Arsenal fans wouldn't accept him. It doesn't mean that we shouldn't accept him. Do I think he's this amazing, brilliant, world-class player? No, I think he's. I have question marks on him personally as a player. However, if he comes to us, I'll take him with open arms. I don't know this thing is complaining and saying, if this is a job, just like it is if you're working at Starbucks or if you're working at McDonald's or Cafe Nero or whatever. Get Matt sponsored, by the way. It's a job. It's just a job. Forget you being a football fan. It's a job. Me playing for Tottenham Hotspurs as a job, it doesn't matter if I'm not a Tottenham fan. I'm doing a job and seeing out my contract or whatever. If Raphinha joins us, he's doing a job, and so long as he's playing well while he's at Chelsea, or if he joins Chelsea, I don't care that he's not a Chelsea fan. Just like anything really, fans need to take away this mindset of, if he doesn't want to come to us as the first choice, we just shouldn't go for it. So what? Eden Hazard didn't, for the last 2-3 seasons he was with us, he wanted to go to Real Madrid. Should we not still have tried to keep him? Stop this deluded mindset.
And I agree with that. That's always the thing. And you summed it up perfectly before, the job. And I've always said that, I want players who want to come play for us, who put their heart out. But at the same time, it's everyone wants to come play for us sometimes. But if they come, they do the job. That's all we need from them. And as you said, you use primary examples, Hazard, Mbappe, Kane, all these players, they come, they do their job, even though they're, Kounde, he was at Sevilla. He didn't want Sevilla. And he still put in a shift for them and still their best player 2 seasons in a row. But Nexus has a great comment here. He says, Matt, Carlito, and Prime on the same stream. Even Nexus knows that. He goes, all we need is jesters and Chelsea Twitter will explode. He knows, the three Chelsea fans who look at the realistic standpoint and not in a video game. And we got Football Capital. Big up the Football Capital in the chat. My man from New South Wales. One day when I come to New South Wales, I'll be on his show whenever I'm there. But big up to Football Capital there. But let's I want to expand on this Raphinha as well as him as a player. A lot of us say, like, yes, I think Prime Carlito has the same point that he's not world class. Would you say he's worth this 50 million euros plus 10 million add-ons? Would you guys say he's worth it?
No. No.
So
no.
we're like saying us paying this, is this like a disadvantage for us?
It's not a disadvantage. And again, at the end of the day, people need to recognize that this is not your money. And I know that it is all relative and that we always want to put it into context what we're paying for one player versus what we're going to be asked to pay for another player of similar vein in 2 to 3 years. I get that. And the markets always pay attention to what big clubs pay for big-time players. But, I mean, is he better than Mane? No. Mane just went for 40 million, okay? Raphinha is 25 years old. He has been on a really bad club for a couple seasons. He's performed admirably, but is he worth all of this fuss? No. Does it mean that I still don't want him? I still want him. If, this eventually comes to pass, it'll either be him or Dembele because Barcelona is delusional if they think that they can hold on to both. But I think, Matt, I want to address this one thing because I'm not trying to backtrack, but I do want to say this one thing about why people are freaking out about this Raphinha thing. That is because they think that this is going to be another Lukaku situation. You guys, life does not work like that. You guys got to stop making false equivalencies between situations that are not the same at all. All right, Lukaku, I don't know why, and we'll find out eventually. Not right now. I don't know why in the hell he actually made this move because if he loves Inter, he probably would have taken a reduced wage to do this. I don't know. Maybe he's got such a big ego that secretly wanted to come back to Chelsea and, say fuck you to everybody and perform really well. The problem that he didn't perform well is because he wasn't good enough for Chelsea. He simply wasn't good enough. And if you don't agree with me, that's fine. Go ahead and start watching games around November because he started dipping significantly. It started in the Man City game where he couldn't hold on to the ball. And all of a sudden he's like, oh shit, I'm overwhelmed. This is way harder than Italy. And by the way, no shit, dude. It is way harder than Italy. But so everyone's thinking, oh my God, it's going to be like Lukaku. No, Raphinha's been in this league. He's tailor-made for this league. Is he the perfect winger? No, but he would do a great job for Chelsea. Is he worth the money? No, but none of these players, in my opinion, are worth the money. This is where the market is.
And there's just an update as well that Leeds have not accepted any Barcelona offer. Same news pretty much. But advanced talk continues, blah, blah, blah. Barca feels progress and want to pay the fee in installments. So, Prime, do you think the 60 million pounds for Raphinha is worth it?
In this day and age, 60 mil is the equivalent of what Liverpool paid for Mane, 5-6 years ago. They paid 35 mil for him, I think. It's the same thing. Like, money goes up in football. And, like, I probably shouldn't use this example of the Chelsea fans, but is Lukaku a 100 mil striker? No. But in terms of the fact of we needed a goal scorer and we just stupidly spent money on him, that's what Inter deemed him worth. That's what we paid. Leeds deemed him worth 60 mil. We desperately need an attacker. He's Premier League proven. I know I don't rate him highly, but he is Premier League proven. He is one of the better forwards or attacking players in the Prem. Pay that money. And which, again, we are willing to pay that money as well. So it's not a thing of like scrimping and saving, or it's either like we don't have the money to pay it. We're willing to pay that money. I don't see necessarily what the problem is from Chelsea fans or anything. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Hopefully, I hope he does well. My only big problem is because I don't trust the scouts we have. Is that any player we do sign, I'm not excited about. Because Havertz was meant to be this generational talent. He hasn't done much. Werner, who I've watched for years. Werner, who I watched for years in the Bundesliga, a player who I love, has been terrible for us. Like,
But who
I
wanted Werner? Remember. Who wanted Werner again? Who wanted Werner?
Liverpool.
No. Which manager wanted Werner?
no, Frank didn't want Werner. The way Frank was using him, he clearly did not want Timo Werner. But like again, that's my thing. Like,
Apparently he was
well,
on the phone to him, wanting him, progressing. But anyway,
Yeah.
Apparently, we were gonna give Frank
just
3
blame
years.
Lampard. Let's blame Lampard for everything. Who cares?
I really want
apparently
to. I really want to.
Bro, we were gonna give Frank Lampard 3 years, apparently. So we'll see. But like again, my thing is just because the price tag says 60 mil, like I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. In this day and age, the way money is, like Leeds can demand a lot more. Richarlison, Spurs just bought him for 60 mil, and he is not good at all. Leeds should be asking for 100 mil. Let's just be honest, like because he's worth a lot more than Richarlison. He's not worth a lot more. Yeah, exactly. So that's my point. If we're going from like 60 mil or from 100 mil to like 60 or whatever, or 50 plus add-ons, like that's a good deal. And if we're getting 60 mil worth from him, that means he's going to come to us and be one of the best forwards in Europe or in the world. And he's going to help us win the Premier League again and win multiple Champions League. That's a good deal. So I don't see what the problem is.
Remember, he's Premier League proven as well. Go on.
I think a lot of people are just insecure about this waffling with Barcelona. And I think one of the problems is that there are too many Chelsea news aggregators on Twitter. And a lot of them are aggregating stuff from Mundo Deportivo, Marca, Barcelona Universal. I mean, these guys, you do realize that they get money under the table to write pro-Barcelona, anti-Real Madrid shit. Okay, there is this war between Real Madrid and Barcelona, and they use the newspapers to wage their war. And a lot of this shit is bullshit. Now, I don't know how they get away with it because in America there are libel standards and there are journalistic standards for newspapers that are even remotely credible. And I guess in Spain, the threshold for credibility and vetting your information is much lower. I get it. It's a different country and everything, but I don't know for certain. But come on, man. They report a lot of shit that's nonsense. End of the day, if he's worth the money, it's because we bid on him. Okay? If we bid on him, we think he's worth the money. Great. All right. And if he comes, great. If he doesn't, fucking get over it. All right? It's not the end of the world. And all this hyperbole from all these stupid fans that probably live in their parents' basement, man, grow up. Because this is the real world, and this shit is hard. These transfers are hard. You're asking these people to uproot their families. You're asking them to figure out their taxes, to get a new house, okay, to find new friends. I mean, there's a lot of shit that goes into it. They have managers to pay. They have hanger-ons to pay from when they were a child. They have their agents to pay. There is a lot of shit that has to be figured out here. It is not as simple as come into the office, let me write my name on a piece of paper. Great, now I'm a Chelsea player. No, it's not that easy, right? And he's been heavily recruited by Barcelona since March. So it's not like they're swooping in at the end of the day. We're the ones doing the hijacking. Don't get it twisted.
Go on, Prime. You want to say something?
Yeah, it's because everyone thinks this is, FIFA. If I was playing FIFA, I would have got this Raphinha done in 5 minutes, slap price tag on, no hijacking involved in FIFA. But, like this is, the real world. And just like in general in the real world, where, you have preferences in terms of, say, what university you want to go to, or what girls you're interested in, or, what job you want to get, or what car you want to buy, or whatever. Like players have preferences in what clubs they want to play for. Like it's, God forbid, I don't want to. God forbid your club may be second on my list. God forbid.
And again with Raphinha as well, like he's playing. I don't want to disrespect Leeds, but he's playing for a relegating side team. Leeds, like they're not a good team. No. So him obviously upgrading to a better team like Chelsea. Now, the thing is, and what I've been hearing, I'm not sure if it's true because, again, it's been by stupid sources, the Sport, Daily Mail, but I want to get the thoughts on this, is that Deco is apparently receiving money from Barcelona to push Leeds to sign Raphinha to Barcelona. Do you guys think that's true?
Yes.
Deco,
No.
yeah.
Yes.
No, what I've read is that Raphinha coming to Chelsea, Deco will get paid more. But because Deco has to do a job, and his client wants to go to Barcelona first as his preference, so he's going to do. Because apparently Raphinha agreed with Leeds to give them time, or agreed with Barca to give them time to try and raise up these funds. But if they don't pay the price tag that Leeds require, he's not going to go there. So it doesn't matter how long this deal sort of drags on for, I guess. If Barca don't pay the funds, they don't pay the funds. And even if they do pay the funds, which Chelsea fans are not realizing, Raphinha is not the only attacker we were linked to. Like, we were linked to Dembele before this Raphinha news popped up a few days ago. So if Barca are able to get them Raphinha, it probably then means that we get Dembele or we get Anthony or someone else. So it's not the be all and end all.
And Matt, there's this. By the way, the offer that Dembele has been given by Barcelona, it's a 40% wage cut. Dembele is not going to take that. I think he is adios amigo. As for the Raphinha situation, there is an interesting. I don't know if it's a theory, but someone's been doing a little bit of homework, keeping tabs on the situation. And when he had agreed initially to a fee in personal terms with Barcelona in March, which he did. Okay, with that comes a sign-on fee, and a lot of people think that Deco has already taken that fee, and that's kind of why he's pushing for this Barcelona move, because he may have already spent the money, but now with Leeds, he may have stepped in the mud a little bit, by preemptively taking this deal, but not allowing Leeds to shop the offer to someone else, like perfect Chelsea, right? Who is now offering not just more money, but more money up front. Barcelona wants to do this in a payment plan spread out over years. Leeds don't want that. They don't want that. They don't want pledged money. They want actual money. And, so now Deco, I think, is in the mud because he has not done right by his client by accepting this pre-contract offer and taking money as a sign-on bonus in March. Okay, so I don't know. Does that mean that Raphinha fires him? Who knows? If it were me, I would immediately fire him for doing that because he's unjustly tipping the scales in favor of Barcelona just because you are financially obligated to do so with your client. So for me, Leeds is not going to take a discount with Barcelona just to do business with Barcelona, just for the honor of doing business with Barcelona. They don't give a shit. Dude, you guys know who Leeds is and what they have represented prior to what the Premier League was. I'm talking from the 60s and 70s. Leeds were the big swinging dick. Okay, so they're not going to do Barcelona any favors. All right, they will accept our offer, and there's nothing anybody can do about it.
So in saying that, hypothetically, it's kind of going a bit off top, but I want to get this question done. Is hypothetically he does join, then, I've been hearing that people saying we've got to give this guy time, and when I hear the word time, I get upset because people are still saying that Werner's comeback season is this season, third season in a row, the comeback season. So with Raphinha, would we give him time, or should he automatically implement his skills game week 1 or 2? Because for me, I will give him 2 weeks, settle in, and he should be performing and balling out. What do you guys think?
I think he'll be fine. He'll immediately be surrounded by better players in a more interesting system where he'll have more time on the ball. It's less run and gun, and he's already been in the Premier League. This whole time thing, man, these are footballers. They know how to football. And, Raphinha, if he's with us, he'll have a whole month of preseason. He'll be fine. That whole time thing is for players that people don't think will actually perform for Chelsea. With this guy, no, he'll be fine. He's a good player.
Excuse.
Oh, it's a cop-out, Matt. It's a cop-out.
The word time haunts me. Like, everyone will give Werner time, give him time. Guys, he's been here for 2 seasons. Like, how many more seasons do you want to give him?
I think Timo is just the lack of space that he gets, and then just the misses. I think they're in his head. I think that it is drastically screwed up his form. So
He's not fit for Premier League. He's not fit, but that's for another conversation. You know, that's another problem. You know, we can
I
keep
like
this one
Demo
in
the
there,
guy
but-
though. He's not a
Yeah,
dick.
he's a funny
He's
guy.
cool. He's cool.
Yeah,
But
he's
yeah,
got a
it's
good
just it might not
personality.
be a fit. And guess what? This shit happens all the time, man. So you know,
But,
You know how an insult that
go on,
is?
Prime.
Saying, "Oh, he's a funny guy." Like that's such an insult.
Like,
No,
he
but
is
I
a
think-
funny
It is an
guy,
insult.
but I don't want him at Chelsea. He's
Yeah,
a
no, I
funny
know,
guy,
I know.
but Doesn't mean I
he's
want him at the
cool,
club.
just not for
Like
us.
Kante.
Just not for us.
Kante smiles.
It's like
you know.
saying it's like saying, is she attractive? Oh, she's got a great personality. Great personality. Like, no. That's what you said.
It's spot on.
No, but,
I mean, but the guy's funny. Like the guy's funny. Like with those interviews and shit, it's funny. But it's like, if funny doesn't get you goals, so you can piss off now.
It's why all the girls that Matt dates have terrible personalities because he doesn't give a fuck about that.
Straight to the main point.
That's
Yeah,
exactly
go on,
right.
Prime.
What I take, well, how long will it take to settle in? Like, in terms of adapting to the Premier League, he's Premier League proven. That shouldn't be a problem. Now,
Yeah.
in playing in the Champions League, and like this has been my main thing when people have been linking us with attackers. Can you go away to Atletico Madrid and break down their low block? Can you break down a Juventus low block? Can you score at the Bernabeu? Can you score at the Nou Camp? These are the questions I have. Because again, I want to try and win the Champions League again. And these are the teams, or these are the stadiums we're going to have to play in. So I don't know. And I don't like watch him much per se for Brazil. So, and also the teams in South America, they're not really of the highest standard. So it's him playing in the Champions League and seeing how he does may be my biggest question mark. But in terms of the Prem, there should not be any sort of adaptation problems.
Yeah, I don't think we should be using that time excuse. I think, as I said, and remember, guys, we've been wanting this for season on season. I remember under Frank, we were hearing, let's get Premier League proven players. Let's get this. Like, we're finally getting a Premier League proven attacker. When was the last time? Giroud? Was he? We can't really say Tammy, because I think Aston Villa were in the Championship.
It was Giroud. Yeah.
I think it was Giroud. And look how he performed. So I'm really excited getting these Premier League proven players. I wasn't excited for Richarlison. And thank God we haven't got it. But Raphinha and Sterling, I'm very excited for, because these are top players who are now coming to Chelsea and are Premier League proven. We don't have to use the excuse of time. Oh, they're going to get used to the Prem, blah, 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 blah. These players are fit for the Prem because they've been playing in it. Raphinha's been in it for 2 seasons. Sterling's been in it, I don't even know, 10 years. I don't know how long, because back at Liverpool, he's been all, he's nearly his whole career. So he's fit for this league. We know that. And that's a player that I'm looking forward to more. I'm looking forward to that more than the player himself. Would you guys agree that this Premier League proven attacker is what we need?
I think it's a really important caveat. I think that as Matt, you, me, Chelsea fans, Prime, everybody knows this ain't for everybody. This ain't for everybody, man. I mean, I think that Havertz is great, and you guys can slate him all you want. I think he's an awesome player. He showed up. He's good. Ziyech, he can't really handle the Premier League. Timo Werner can't really handle the Premier League. I don't even think Trevor Chalobah can handle the Premier League. Like, there are a lot of players that have been on this team that struggle. I mean, even Andreas Christensen, who I think is a fundamentally good player, even he has struggled with the Premier League. This is the hardest league in the world. And I mean, having someone that can handle it, that's a big first step, right? If you're going to spend all this money and you're going to pay him 125 grand a week, and you're going to be fighting with Barcelona, who, by the way, we also still need, because we still need to do 2 or 3 deals with Barcelona anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this is it's not like the end all be all, because Dembele, if he comes here, he would be fine too. But it is a really nice addition to know that you can handle, the fact that John McGinn might try to break your leg one of these days. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a thing. And, it's important that these players can handle that shit.
I just want to answer quickly before we get to Prime. Football Capital said Arsenal and Chelsea will be dodging a bullet with not getting Raphinha. I want to know, Football Capital, why would be dodging a bullet? Is the way he plays? Is it expanding that? I want to know. It's a good question. Prime, answer that question on the point of what we said, the Premier League proven players. Is that what we finally need for our attackers? Because let's be honest, our people don't realize how bad our attack was. Our attack was garbage. Werner couldn't play. Ziyech couldn't. Well, these two players weren't fit for the Premier League. Pulisic, injury, not confident, and then Havertz, who was just in and out. He wasn't there. And we had Mount, who was doing average, but it wasn't his position. And then we had Lukaku, obviously. People don't know, and our stats, we were a mid-table team in terms of our attack. Is this going to fix our attack? Having a Premier League proven player, not just Raphinha and Sterling as well. Is this what we need for our attack?
Yeah, and also just having players that suit the style of play that we have at the club. Like, all right, I know I say our forwards are bad, but do I honestly believe each one of them are terrible footballers? No, they're just bad for us because we have so many different players that suit so many different styles that just cannot fit together. When they go elsewhere, they're going to do well. Even Werner, he's going to do well. Lukaku will do well at Serie A. Whoever who leaves, they'll all do well. That's fine.
But just remember, just quickly,
styles,
as I say quickly, just quickly, these are football players. Like, these are good players still. Just quickly, I just want to keep that in mind for fans. But sorry, continue.
Yeah, they're professional. They're not you or me or whatever who are just like normal people. These are professional football players and at the highest level. They'll go elsewhere, they'll do well, that's fine. But similar for us, we need players that suit our style of play. What Tuchel has said that he wants a winger who's a 1v1 specialist. Dembele is that. Raphinha is that. I may not rate those two highly per se in terms of being world-class players, but if they come in and suit our system, make us better, then that's fine. Like, not every player you buy has to be world-class. So long as they suit your system, they perform well for you, that's the only thing that matters. Because I can name so many players that people say are world-class, but they only look great because they suit the system they play in. I'm not going to do that because that's going to cause a bit of a fight. So.
Oh, yeah, oh my days. Football Capital answered saying, once Barca have the money and they come back in for him, he'll want out. Well, we'll see on that because, again, we mustn't forget Leeds do have a final say. I think people assume Deco and Raphinha have no. Leeds he's contracted to Leeds. Leeds have the final say. Leeds want Chelsea because we're offering
I think he means if he comes to us, if Raphinha comes to us or Arsenal, he'll want out when Barca come back in for him. But the thing is, though, say we buy Raphinha and in 2 seasons' time, say we buy Raphinha and in 2 seasons' time, Barca come in for him and he wants to leave, that's fine. Then pay us 100 mil.
Yeah.
Like, I don't mind if a player wants to leave, just pay us the money that we require. Like, that's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Carlito, do you want to add to that?
I think fans are spending other people's money. Okay? It's not your money, dude. Sit back and watch fucking football. Okay? Crack a beer, get a sandwich and watch the games. Stop worrying about the little financial stuff that is not your job to worry about. It's not. Okay? Everything is a gamble. Everything is a gamble. And Chelsea gambles almost more than any club in the world when it comes to players. If they like a player, they'll do it, even if it's a bad fit. They don't really care. Now, I think that'll be changing with Todd Boehly. There'll be a more scientific, analytical approach to the way we buy players. But in the past, guys like Lukaku, guys like Timo, they said, popular player, we're going to buy him. Okay. As for Raphinha, if he wants to leave in 2 years, I highly doubt that. If he's getting paid all this money, sleeping with beautiful London women, and scoring goals for Chelsea, and he's in the Champions League, and he's in cup finals. No, dude, he'll stay. And if he wants to go, by that time, he'll be 27. He'll be an even better player, and he'll cost even more money. Okay, and then we'll go out and we'll get another player. So you guys worried about this stuff? This is what you're worried about?
No, he's a Man United fan. He's a Man United fan. He was just cool. He was just getting a question about Raphinha, but it was a good question. But I want to come to what Simon Phillips just said about 2-3 hours ago, where he said, I'll be surprised now if Raphinha doesn't end up at Barca, and I'll be surprised if we didn't then make an offer for Dembele. Anything can still happen, though. Nothing is done. Only Chelsea offer accepted for Raphinha. So can we see domino effect? Because I think, Carlito, you had the point before that Barcelona are offering like 40% less than wages. And I've been saying this, like, let's be realistic. If he wants more money, like, yes, he wants Barcelona as a playing club, but they're offering 40% less wages. So can we see a domino effect happening here? Like I was thinking maybe before we can possibly get both. If we sign Raphinha, I think we can also get Dembele as well because of the wage thing. But do you guys see a domino effect happening here with Raphinha and Dembele?
Yes.
How?
Here's the reason why. I feel like we might be using Raphinha just to suss out the Dembele situation. Maybe, I feel like, I mean, we could. Now, look, is it that likely? I don't know. These high-profile negotiators, they have a lot of different angles, But yeah, I mean, it may be simple as, we came into this Raphinha thing a couple of weeks ago. Barcelona's been on this shit since March. So all of a sudden we come in right as Dembele becomes a free agent. That is curious timing. Okay. Now maybe the end game is to, finally convince Dembele that, look, Barcelona has been disrespecting you publicly for a while, and now they're offering you, when you're 25 years old in the prime of your career, a lesser contract than the one you had signed when you were 19. Okay, maybe they really don't want you. It's time to come to Papa Tuchel and set the Premier League on fire. Maybe that is the end game for Chelsea. But if we don't get one, we'll get other. Now, I would love if we got both. I would love that. Because, shit, you could never have too many good players. And people that think otherwise are stupid. The more good players we have, the better.
Of course, and obviously, if we get Dembele Raphinha, I think the squad depth would be fantastic. But before we get a prime, just quickly, we've got 8 people in here. I know Coachilla's live, Augs is live, Miz is live. So there's a lot of Chelsea creators who are live as well. So I appreciate everyone joining in here. Make sure to follow Prime, follow Carlito. Got their links in the description as well. So I appreciate everyone for being here while there's so many Chelsea. I don't know why everyone streams today, like right now. These guys are never live, but my lawyers will be in touch with these guys. But Prime, thoughts on the domino effect with Raphinha and Dembele?
Oh my god. Like I said before, I think it'll be one or the other. Like, who knows? Because like in the highest end of the world, everything's always like tactical and calculated. Maybe we're trying to push this Raphinha thing to say to Barca, look, you want this guy, do what you can to get Dembele to sign for us or whatever, so that you guys can get your man. Or then we end up stealing Raphinha. Maybe we're trying to do that. Who knows? But again, not getting Dembele and getting Raphinha, right? It's not a bad option. So either way, I'm not that fussed. I'm not even our transfer strategy and how we're going about it. I don't really have a problem. My problem is how Chelsea fans are whining and moaning and complaining about everything that's going on. I said we're the only ones who haven't done business yet. Like, United haven't signed anyone yet. I don't think Arsenal have. Well, Arsenal signed like 2 players, but they're not of like
Jesus
top quality
and Vieira, Pablo.
But I don't rate those players.
Marquinhos.
Like my point being,
Marquinhos, the fake Marquinhos. Yeah.
Like my point being, like we literally just got new owners like about almost 2 months ago. We had a ban, basically sanctioned since like January, where we couldn't do any business and talk to players and try and convince them to come to us. So we're trying to do everything in quick time. And we also got rid of like 2 key members in the negotiating process for players in Marina and Chris Buck. Like, just chill. Things are like, until Boehly does things wrong, I don't really have anything to criticize yet. I just like to see how things go. I don't see what the problem is.
Well, I mean, okay, he runs the best baseball team in a country of 360 million people. Okay.
Yeah.
He's a very good owner. He signs the right guys. He's analytical. And if you think it's just him in a room with a telephone, like you're fucking crazy. Oh, he's got a ton of guys around him, and he's with Tuchel, and they're trying to map out how they're going to take over Europe like Napoleon. Okay, they're going to make the right decisions. And last time I checked, Raheem Sterling is better than anyone has signed in the Premier League outside of Holland. So, and that deal is done. So I don't care who I don't care who Arsenal are signing. I certainly don't care who Tottenham are signing, because if they really just spent that much money on Richarlison, I don't know, man. I don't know what their scouting strategy is. That player is butt. He is a bad player, and more than that, he's a terrible character. I wouldn't touch that player with a 10-foot pole. You Chelsea fans, you're all too young and you're all too naive. You need to calm down, or just leave me alone because I don't want to talk to you.
You know, the thing with Tottenham, and I've said they've done good business. Like I will give them credit that they got Basuma, I really rate Basuma. I think that Koulibaly, whatever they signed him on loan, but I was looking at going, hang on guys, this is Tottenham. You know, I said Conte wouldn't do anything for Tottenham, and people were laughing at me. And look at that again, another season, and they didn't win a trophy. So I always look at it and go, hang on, we mustn't forget this is Tottenham. We must forget this is Arsenal. I think again, Arsenal made average signings. Like these aren't big signs. Like we mustn't forget who we're going for. Sterling, Dembele, Raphinha. These are massive names.
Yeah,
this is
Ligt.
Take a couple. Ligt, like these
That
names
is a
are massive.
really hard deal to do. That is a really hard deal to do.
Kounde.
Okay.
I mean, again, these players. We'll get into the we'll get into the league now. Let me show you this comment from Capital. He said, yeah, they actually did sign a player today. Again, Malaysia from the Turkish team. But you're right, Prime. People acting like it's deadline day, and it's not people. It's Chelsea fans. Like we're again. I was saying to Carlito before. Like I honestly think we have the worst fan base. Like we're just always ahead of ourselves. We always think we're better than others. Like we just gotta live realistically and just be like, because we're like every other team. Like we have to take our time. We've been scouting these players again. As Prime said, January we weren't allowed to do anything. We've lost Marina Czech. For me, that's not a big deal. But again, we have to do a transfer with new people coming in. So it's a big process. So, Prime, you're going to add?
Yeah, and I've also said this about Man United as well. Man United fans, like, I know you guys it may seem like you're going slow and stuff, but just relax. You're going to be fine next season. Like your squad, from a base level anyway, is not actually bad. Like it isn't it's like a top 4, top 6 standard squad anyway. Like no matter how terrible you were last season, that's not a true reflection of how your squad is. You got Ten Hag. I don't think he's a world-class manager, but he is a top manager. And you are going to bring in players that will improve you. So, like, there's nothing really to be freaking out about from both sets of fans. Rival fans can say whatever the hell they want. They're always going to. But your own fan base, you should be, being positive. You shouldn't be bringing everything down. Like, I'd understand if we still had Marina, who everyone hated, or if we still had, like, Lampard or whatever, or if we still had these deadwood players. We're trying to get rid of these players. We're trying to bring in better players. Like, just let things play out first.
And yeah, again, I said back in Jan, like if we're July 32nd or just 32nd, fucking 22nd, because I said on that day, if we're July 22nd and we haven't signed anyone, then we can have a problem because then that's preseason going past and we're not doing any business. Because I want players before preseason. If we get a day before, day after, that's fine. But I want players in preseason because we've got a lot of players coming back and I want them there. But again, we'll move from a Raphinha. We'll come back to attacking a bit. Go on, Carlito, go on.
No, you're good.
But we'll move. We'll come back to the attack. We'll go to now Ake. I'll come up and I'll say my thoughts. I think Ake. I'm not concerned. We get him. Fantastic. I'm open arms. Let's go. I think he's versatile, but he's not a starter in my eyes. I think we need a Kounde. We need a Ligt. We need Thiago Silva as our front three. He's fantastic. He can play left back. He can play center back. That's great. I'm all for it. But let's focus on other defenders. Again, 40 million, it's not the most expensive, but I think that's his value. He was a Chelsea player before, but I'm just not that keen on this signing. But I want to know your thoughts, guys. Ake to Chelsea, are you guys in or out? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I like him a lot. Definitely.
Why?
When he was at Bournemouth, I actually thought he would. I thought he would join Chelsea.
Yeah, I remember Bournemouth. He was killing it there. Yeah.
Yeah, he was their main guy. Him and Callum Wilson, they saved Eddie Howe's job more than once. No doubt about that. No, there's a reason why Pep Guardiola wanted him, but I'm sure that there's a reason why they're going to get rid of him. I think he wants more playing time. It's really,
because he's a starter in Netherlands, isn't he? He's a starter he's a starting left back, I think, for Netherlands. So again,
you gotta look at who's starting in front of him at City.
Yeah,
Ruben Diaz, arguably the best defender in the world, and then Laporta, Stones. These are Guardiola guys that have done really well for him as well. And so, yeah, I mean, Ake is sitting there thinking to himself, shit, man. I mean, I need more game time, World Cup year, the whole deal. I get all that. And the price tag is a little steep, but again, that is the market. We need to stop worrying about that, okay? Our owner just spent $4.2 billion on this team. I don't think he'll be this concerned about a $40 million transfer fee for Ake. It's not that big of a deal, guys. Relax. As for the player himself, is he a starter? Borderline. He could be. He could be. Tuchel makes his defenders better, because anyone that thinks Rudiger's been world-class his entire career, well, you haven't been watching.
Go watch him.
You haven't been watching. Go and watch him play for Lampard. He was terrible for Lampard. He was terrible.
I'm not gonna say too much, but Lampard did play a part in that way. Let's be honest. But again,
Lampard is the worst manager we've ever hired, and we hired Avram Grant, who didn't have a coaching license. So come on, Ake, yeah, I like Ake. He's a good dude. He's a good player.
Did Avram Grant not take us to a Champions League final?
That's what I'm saying. Lampard's that bad.
I'm just saying. Oh yeah. But yeah,
we could see like 60 goals in Lampard. I don't know what we're talking about here. He's a terrible manager.
Exactly. He made Champions League winner Rudiger look like a terrible centre back. That's all I'm saying. Well, anyway,
I'm telling you, he killed half our team. Alonso, Rudiger, Jorginho. Kepa came out and even just said recently, Lampard, didn't play a part in his progress. Like, just so many players. And that's why I disliked him. Because he wasn't a team player. He was a Mount lover. He was a Tammy lover. He wanted the best for his players. Gilmore, like even Werner, like his signings, like he wanted the best for them, but he forgot about the other side of the team. I would even say Christensen as well. I think Christensen got a bit, and I want to say disrespected, but he wasn't, that happy with Lampard. So there was just a lot of players there that people don't realize. So I really despise him. Look, I can't speak about it because how much I hate him as a manager. But yeah. So just quickly on Ake as well, Prime. Are you for him as the point of a player? Like, do you think he can come in and make a difference if he starts? From what you've seen of him,
I don't. He is a good centre back. He still starts for Holland, and who are coached. I know Van Gaal is like past it, but he's still a brilliant mind tactically, and he's still a brilliant manager. However, if we're spending 40 mil, anywhere near that for him, I'd rather we spend more to get the Ligt or Koulibaly or Skriniar or even Kounde that we're all linked with, because they are centre backs who are better than. Let's just be honest. If he's coming in to be backup and we're spending that money on a backup when we haven't really fixed our first 11 in the first place, I know this probably goes against a lot of things I say but we might as well just use Colwell for a season as a backup.
No.
But wouldn't you say he takes two positions?
No.
Wouldn't you say he takes the left back and the centre back? So like we don't need to go buy Sosa or like we don't need to buy that.
He does, but like we're keeping Emerson as that left wing back anyway.
Are we?
No, we are. I don't want to make the same mistake we made last season. The reason, maybe not from the board, but the reason why Chelsea fans didn't want us to sign Hakimi is because we have Reece James anyway, and it will stop the progression of Callum Hudson-Odoi. Reece James got injured for about 3 months. Callum Hudson-Odoi stunk at wing back, and we had to use Christian Pulisic over. I don't want to make the same mistake again. So if we're getting Ake because he's a left back option, that's a bad idea. If we're getting him because he's a backup left centre back, I don't agree with it, but I'm okay with it. But I'd rather we just get our first choice targets, and even if it's just for a season, we can make do kind of guess, and then go and get someone.
I wouldn't mind a loan maybe for Ake. Again, I'll pay the 40 million because if we look at it, yes, I 100% agree. And I said this prime that we should be looking at Kounde, we should be looking at Ligt, we should be looking at Spiller. If we get Kounde and Ligt or Kounde or Skriniar, whatever, two proper, semi-world class, however you describe them, good centre backs, yes, we can get Ake because Ake can be a left centre back option. He can be the backup there because Sarr. I mean, I don't know what's happening with Sarr, but we flopped on Sarr with that signing. I don't know what that was. So we get rid of Sarr. Kounde, Ake comes in as the backup left centre back. He try makes his way in there. I think he can fight for his position. I said, I remember Carlito said Bournemouth. I remember Bournemouth. He was fantastic. Plus, he's a backup for Chilwell on the left back position. Now, can he play left wing back? I'm not sure because if we're going to get him, I assume we play a 3 at the back because we get an Ake, we get a Kounde, we get a Ligt, let's say 3 centre backs. So where would he play if we play left wing back? Would he play left wing back? I'm not sure if he can play that. I don't recall him ever playing there. So I think it's a great versatile signing. We're getting 40 million because we don't need to go buy Sosa. We don't need to go buy another centre back as for the left option. We're getting 2-1. We're getting a backup. We're getting a left back backup. But however, I agree we need to go for the starters. Anyone want to add?
So I think we'll buy 2 defenders. I don't actually think we're going to buy Nathan Ake. I think that City wants to sell Nathan Ake. Now again, I like Ake, but I would like Zinchenko as well. You know, I mean, these guys are all pretty damn good merchant. Players. Well, no, Zinchenko's still a good player. He's still a good player. I think at the end of the day, we're going to get some variation of Ligt, Kounde, Koulibaly. I think he wants to buy starters, and I don't think Ake is necessarily a starter, but Ligt is.
100% Ligt's a starter.
Yeah.
We'll get into Ligt in 1 second. Plum, any final words on Ake before we move on? Sorry. Just quickly, take account. Apparently, just from sources, Tuchel rates him. If you want to take that into account.
Okay. I do not feel the players we're linked to from like City and Liverpool and stuff. Like something inside says to me, I don't want their players. Because if they're willing to, because they're like, look at us at our best, at our peak. If we were willing to let go of like Petr Cech and send him to Arsenal, or Willian and send him to Arsenal, or we're willing to let go of Frank Lampard and let him, and City took him on loan and stuff like that. Like we didn't let them go when they were at their best. We let them go when they were past it. Like I don't know them being okay with letting go of Sterling, or letting go of Ake or Zinchenko or whoever, and us taking them when we're supposed to try and get to their level and beat them for the Premier League. It doesn't feel it doesn't sit right with me. Something tells me, like Man United, they wouldn't give us Ryan Giggs at his best or Rooney at his best. You know, like something inside doesn't sit right with me. I don't know. But if these are players that Tuchel wants, that's fine. I'm all for backing him and giving him his profile of player. But just me inside, it just doesn't feel right. Something tells me that in a year's time, these players will be finished, and I'll just be here sitting. Well, I had this feeling it wasn't going to work out. But I'm not trying to be negative. I'm trying to be seeing how things go. I'm trying to be positive. But I'm just being.
No, I actually really understand your point. Like, yes, why are we getting? Because a lot of people have said this. Why are we getting City's backups? Like, why are we aiming for them? And I could say, does City want to rebuild? Do they, Pep hasn't won the Champions League in 5 years. Do they want to start getting in new players, rebuild him, get what he wants, or do they want to get some cash to back up? Like, I'm not sure. Carlito, do you want to add anything? Because I want to get to this next point that we were discussing. So do you want to add anything to it?
I think that they're selling because financial fair play is going to be more strict pretty soon.
Maybe. Oh yeah. I mean, their name's not Chelsea FC, so they don't really get.
No, I think it's going to be pretty. It's going to be pretty serious for everybody. I mean, La Liga has put a lot of restrictions on teams like Barcelona. So I think a little bit of that is coming to the Premier League for sure.
Yeah, we'll see. And Hano says Ake is shit.
He's not
Hano.
shit.
I think Bournemouth, he was fantastic. But City, I'm not sure why he never started. But obviously he had fantastic centre-backs in front of him. But I want to get to this point. And I want to get to the point that we've all been saying, and I've been saying this a lot as well, where I say, get me, if Tuchel wants a 15-year-old from Saudi Arabia, bring him in because we want to build a team around him. In saying that, this season he has a lot of pressure on him because he's getting players he wants. So let's say he gets Ligt. Say he wanted Ligt, he wanted Ake, he wanted Sterling, Raphinha, and he wanted I don't know, Rice. Let's say Rice. I hope we don't get Rice, but let's say Rice. And he gets the players he wants. Do you think that the pressure may get to him? Like, not may get to him, but do you think he will feel pressure? Because I see him having a lot of pressure on his shoulders. In saying that, if he gets the team he wants and we finish fourth, is there time to look at, do we start, not sacking him, but do we start looking at the future? Because right now, Tuchel isn't going anywhere because this is not his team. And he's done very, very well with him. Now, I hope the best. God forbid he does. We don't get top four. God forbid we don't win any trophies. I hope we win trophies, and I hope he gets the players he wants. But in saying that, let's look at the other side, and let's look. What if he does get these players? Is the pressure going to be on Carlito?
Well, the pressure's always on because this is high-profile football. It comes with the job. Is he going to be under extra pressure? No, and part of that is because he did win 2 trophies last season. He was in the cup final, 2 cup finals against allegedly the best team in the world for another 2, and then he took the Champions League winners, Real Madrid. He took them to the brink in a game that we absolutely should have won. Well, technically we did win. So, no, he actually performed very well last year, considering he lost 2 of the best players in the country for an extended period of time in Reece James and Ben Chilwell. And those are 2 of the best at their position in the country. It's undoubtable. He had a fat $100 million striker that completely let him down and torpedoed the season halfway through the season. So you got to look at all these things, and I thought Tuchel handled a lot of that shit very well. I mean, he had to put 3 goalkeepers on the bench against Watford because we didn't have enough players. I mean, everybody else is getting games rescheduled, and we ask for a reschedule, and they tell us to kick fucking rocks. I mean, this is insane. So no. Tuchel will not be under any more pressure from anyone else more than the pressure he puts on himself. All right. And I also believe that Boehly is going to try and do what Man City and Liverpool have done for their managers, and that is to back them long term. I think Tuchel's going to get a long-term contract out of this. And I don't hope it does, I do too, because if you can find a better manager that's available, good luck, because he doesn't exist.
Yeah. I've been saying this. People always come up. I say Tuchel is the best manager in the world. And Carlito, you're spot on with that point that I always say. Like, we had a shocking team. We had an ownership takeover. COVID hit us very hard. People wouldn't listen to us. We went to reschedule games. We went all that. And he still won 2 trophies. We should have bet Madrid. And again, the 2 trophies that Liverpool won were from luck penalties. So, he's done very, very well. And that's why I would always back him.
And that Lukaku goal was a goal. That Lukaku goal was a goal.
Oh, the Liverpool one. Yeah, it was. And that's the only thing he's done right. That offside as they claimed. I can't believe it. Like, we've just had so much against us. Like,
I can believe it.
The name Chelsea. It's just the name, man. It kills me. But Brian, I'll go to your thoughts. I think the question I was saying that will Tuchel feel more pressure on him coming next season with the players that he has? Because that he wanted. Sorry, that he wanted.
Yeah, there's a strong section of our fan base who are on Tuchel's neck, and I don't know if it's because he's the manager that came directly after Frank, and those are the same ones who ironically backed Frank, or if it's because they just don't rate Tuchel at all. Like, for example, Matt, you know him. I don't know if Carlito does. Quazim, like on his channel and stuff, people talking about how they don't rate Tuchel and how this is his last chance and stuff.
Quazim,
he said that. He doesn't rate Tuchel about how he doesn't rate Tuchel how Conte is better, Tuchel, his talent ID, trying to say the excuse of Lukaku wasn't his player doesn't ride anymore. Like if he's getting these guys, I'm not sure if Tuchel will do well, yada yada yada. Like these guys won't give Tuchel time. I'm willing to because I know if we're trying to get back up there with City and overtake them, it's going to take time to build a squad. It took Pep a year, and he has the perfect scenarios with the City ownership. We don't have the perfect scenarios. It's going to take us time. And like, just people need to be okay and realize that, because the same ones who don't want to give Tuchel time will be the same. We're the same ones who complain about Mourinho being okay with Salah, KDB, and Lukaku leaving in order for us just to win a Premier League title. Saying that, Jose ruined this for the long term. Well, if you want to build a long term, sometimes you have to sacrifice the immediate. Sometimes you have to sacrifice the present to be successful in the future. And I'm okay if this season and next season, like, we're not winning the league, because we're not gonna. I know we're not gonna win it anyway. If we finish second, third, that's fine. Let's build until we can, and we sustain it. City have won 5 titles in the last 6 years. That's for a reason, because they built. I want us to do that. We have to. Liverpool have only won 1 title in this like 7-year period. They're not as great as everyone thinks that they are, because they haven't really built properly. They're not continuously building. I want to do that. We build, get to that point, and we stay there. And it's gonna take a little bit of time, which is fine. If we're linked with players who we may not necessarily rate per se, but if the manager does, and we scout them to be the right players to fit our system, that's fine. I'm sure people didn't rate the fact that Pep wanted to get Fabian Delph and players like that, but he fits the system and it worked. So just give it time. Like not everything is immediacy. Give it time.
People shit on Pep Guardiola his first season. Are you kidding me? The style of play he was playing players allegedly out of position. They finished 5th, I believe, his first season. No, he was criticized left, right, and center.
Yeah.
And then Jurgen Klopp, he got 8th place. 8th place his first season. 8th. Those 2 seasons at Chelsea under the previous owner, they would have been fired. Okay, so these guys were given time, they were given money, and I mean we're gonna have to do the same, because we cannot keep recycling managers, especially when we have a really good one.
And that's the thing. We found that perfect manager. And I wouldn't compare our ownership to City. I think City have the perfect ownership, but we've got a great ownership. This guy's back in the manager finally. That was one thing I always liked Roman. I think Roman done fantastic for us. But the one thing I always disliked was not back in the manager. At times, he would always, for market like Lukaku, Monkey, someone here, there. But obviously he's done a lot more good than bad. However, coming to Tuchel, this was the best signing we could make as a manager. I remember him coming in. I was a bit, curious. I was a bit, I remember him at PSG. I remember when he broke his leg at the UCL final. I was like, why the hell is this guy? Like, how did this guy break his leg and he's sitting down? Like, what type of manager is doing that? And then this guy comes in and changes our team. I'm willing to give this guy till 2025, and if we finish 3rd, 2nd, that's fine.
Yeah.
Next season, if we finish 3rd, 2nd next season, that's fine, because we got to build a team around him. And as I said, there's no better manager to bring him. Conte, we've tried it. Jose, done that, been there. We've got a new manager with a new prospect. This is the best manager we get. If we sack, who we're gonna get? Pochettino? Like, no, these guys are shit. I remember when Ragnarok came in, and all these United fans on the terrace were like, "Oh, Ragnarok Tuchel taught Klopp," and I go, "Yeah, you can be the teacher. Doesn't mean you're as good as your student." And students always become better than a teacher, because where's that teacher? Stuck in a shitty job while their students making more money than the teacher. And that's what Ragnarok was. This guy taught him, doesn't mean he's as good as them, and he came and flopped. So in saying that, I would give Tuchel a long, long time. I want this guy to build a team around him. And next season, as I said, I'm always going to say, I hope we win, the league, but it's not looking good, bruv, as people would say. So I'm happy if we finish 3rd or 4th or 2nd. That's fine with me. If we get Champions League football, that's fine. If we win the FA Cup, that's fine. If we, get 1 or 2, that's fine with me. Anyone want to add something before we move on to the next topic?
No,
players
I
down
did not
too,
know
but yeah.
that. I did not know that Tuchel broke his leg. That's actually kind of funny.
Yeah, it was the UCL final, and I remember I was watching. I'm like, why is this? Because I didn't know Tuchel. I was like, why is this guy sitting down and yelling, sitting down? Like, why doesn't he stand up? And I remember then I'm like, oh shit, his leg, because he couldn't really stand, and I saw this big cast on his leg. And I was like, oh, that's why. So it
Yeah,
was pretty funny to me.
I always thought he was this fucking dork from Dortmund, and then I heard him speak. I'm like, oh wow, I really like this guy. So I love Tuchel, man. You really don't
Yeah.
like it, but I mean, I coached for. I'm 33, but I coached for 12 years in my 20s while I was still playing, and I mean, like a lot of the shit he does, how he acts on the sideline, dude. I was like that. Okay, like I'm not saying like I'm obviously just a youth manager, but like the shit that he does and how he acts, bro, I was so similar. So I could just see it. And I like the way he operates because he's funny, but he can turn on a dime. He can turn on a fucking dime.
Yeah.
It's because they think, like, for example, back to like what I was talking about, like people who don't rate Tuchel and stuff. It's because they think he's a yes man, and like he's not like a top manager. Like he's not like a Conte who will rifle feathers if he doesn't get what he wants or whatever. Like people saying, oh, well, if Tuchel didn't want Lukaku, why didn't he say he didn't want Lukaku? Why didn't he walk? Why didn't he do this? Yada yada yada. It's this sort of stuff.
I don't think anybody knew what they were buying. I don't think anybody knew what they were buying with Lukaku because he just came off an MVP season at Serie A. Like technically, he was supposed to work, right? But it just didn't work. Tuchel went to Boehly and says, "Get this fucking guy out of here," and he did it immediately. It was unbelievable.
There's your daddy.
By the way, that's so funny.
That was, bro. When I heard that, I was dying. I was dying.
Yeah, because Tuchel probably thought
funny.
Dude, Tuchel probably thought Lukaku was gonna laugh at that, and all of a sudden, like you hear the mic scratch.
It just seems silent. The cricket. Like and Carlito, I want to add to that point where you said that this guy, he laughs, he's funny, he jokes, but he's serious in a second. And
yes,
and that's what I love in a manager. I hate a manager who just screams, but I love a manager who jokes with the team, who goes, "Have fun, guys, go out there, have fun." But at the same time, he's like, "Be serious, take this seriously." And the way he does it in the interviews and the way he is just to the media is just something I don't see in managers. I remember Frank Lampard, I always used to mock this. And people still mock this to this day, is where he'll just like talk and then he'll start laughing like randomly. And I always thought that was so weird. I don't know if anyone picked that up, but there's this guy named Farley TV and he mocks people, like he mocks managers and shit. And where he does Lampard is Lampard will just start talking and then he just starts laughing out of nowhere. But the way Tuchel talks is he talks so like he's dominant. Like he talks like he's the main man. He's the main character. And that's what I love about a manager. I love a manager who takes authority, and who loves every single player on that pitch. And people saying about the Lukaku thing, why he didn't walk, that shows a manager who wants to save this club. He doesn't walk even remember Conte left because he wasn't getting backed. All his other managers left because they weren't getting backed. Tuchel staying because he still loves this team. That shows a proper manager. I love Conte. I love Mourinho. I love those type of managers where they're aggressive. But Tuchel does it differently, where he's aggressive, but he's also playful. He's got a cute heart, but on the outside he's tough. And people would say, but
it's nuance. He's got nuance.
Yeah.
Like people also, I think they forget this. Like Pep Guardiola is a lot, and I'm sure that gets tiresome after a while. And Sterling is 27, Mahrez is 31, and Mahrez is staying at City. I don't think that has anything to do with Pep wanting Sterling to leave. I think Sterling wants to leave. He's been there a while. Pep Guardiola seems like exhausting. If you were dating him, it's like you're dating a fucking Stairmaster. So, I think that a lot of these guys are just want something new. Dude, Guardiola is up their ass from the first minute to the last, and it's like, hey, bud, I'm a footballer. I know how to do my fucking job here. And he seems like a joystick manager, where like he's the one. He's got he's got the video game controllers, and he's trying to control all of his players all the time. He's like, man, you got to let them express themselves a little bit. And with City, they're so rigid. Like they do the same shit every game. And so it doesn't really matter who's in the system. It's the system that prevails. And it's kind of one of the reasons why Jack Grealish had a bad season in relation to what he was prior at Villa. I know different role, but Grealish wants to express himself, and you're not really allowed to do that at Man City. It's get the ball wide, go down to the baseline, cut ball on the ground across the 18. They do this like every chance they can, every single game. It's the same shit all the time. And Guardiola's like, you have to do this, you have to do this. And I feel like I'm sure Sterling is just kind of sick of it. So.
And that's a fantastic point on Grealish that I want to add. I remember saying that where Grealish is a structural player. He's a player. He's a free roam player. He can't play in a structural position. This guy, you put him in a school field, he'll bang it out because you can do whatever the fuck you want on the school field. But you put him in a team like Manchester City, where as you said, you have to follow the rules. Yeah, he's not going to perform. But Kasim's here. We've got Kasim. Big up to Kasim, who has some explaining to do. He doesn't want to back Tuchel, as Prime said, but we'll have a good chat. Kasim, I think Kasim I just saw before. I think you're probably streaming tonight. I'll jump on if I have time here. But I want to get to the point, guys, and I was talking to you, Carlito, before the stream.
Yo. Terry Flewers. Matthias de Ligt to Chelsea is advancing. Boom. This was 4 minutes ago.
We'll come to that topic later. Let's get into de Ligt because I know de Ligt's a mass topic and I want to talk about it as well.
I didn't mean to interrupt you, by the way, but this just happened.
No, that's good because we should be getting to the Ligt because we have a massive conversation that I want to discuss with the next player after the Ligt. So let's get to the Ligt because that is a good topic we need to talk about. And the Ligt is progressing, being told personal over £60 million plus 9 add-ons, being considered likely any player in return will be a separate deal. Optimism for Chelsea. I want to say this. I want de Ligt. I love de Ligt as a player. I think him and Ajax was a different breed. Using Werner in the deal is even better than using just cash. Using Werner in the deal will just complete our transfer window. Using Werner plus 50, 40 mil, however much we claim he's worth. I don't think he's worth 30. I think maybe 20, 15. But using Werner in the deal would be fantastic. And I think that will sum up de Ligt's transfer. It will sum up Bowie's magic. What do you guys say? De Ligt to Chelsea. And are you guys even more happy using Werner in the deal? Because I'm loving it. I'm loving using these players in the deal because, I've seen Kounde, Jorginho being used. No. Let's not use midfielders. Let's get rid of these shitty attackers. So what are you guys saying about this? Werner plus money for de Ligt. What are we saying?
I think they just want money.
Big up, Hassan. They want money? I think they do, yeah. I think they just want money, but if we can pull it the Werner deal, because remember, they lost Dybala. Morata's looking like he's probably going to leave.
He's left. He's left.
Oh, he's left. So he really,
they didn't.
I even need to
get
look
a
that
deal
up.
done. They didn't get a deal done.
He's so dodgy, Morata. And so then they got Vlahovic. They've lost Kulusevski. So now they've got Vlahovic. They could use a Werner, and I think Werner will kill it in Juventus in a Serie A. I don't care, just send him there. But would you guys use Werner in that deal? Would you guys use it? Because I would 100% use it. But as Carlito said, just the money. But continue, Carlito.
This is an American deal, you can bet your ass that Boehly is going to start doing more deals like this. There's a reason why the NFL is so successful, the NBA, the MLB, and they do trading a little bit differently than European football. But it's not illegal. It's just complicated. But it doesn't mean that it can't be done. So expect Boehly to do a lot more American shit than other owners previously with other big clubs. He will do other stuff. He'll do unique stuff like going directly to Leeds for this deal. Going directly to Man City and Sterling and calling him and being like, "Hey man, look, do you want to get this deal done?" Because I also think Sterling's going to be announced today as well. But no, this is great. If we can get Werner on a separate deal, and maybe not even to Juventus, but if we can get him, and I also believe Ziyech is going to be going for 30 mil total. These are really good deals, but I think we can actually get more for Werner from another club. And regardless, I think it's 70 million euros that they want for de Ligt plus some add-ons. Dude, this player is so fucking good. People do not understand how good this player is going to be for us. He's 22 years old. He's going to be a brick shithouse for a decade. He is worth every penny. Oh, my God.
I think people are forgetting him at Ajax. Like, I've said this,
amazing.
Carlito, and I want to just say just quickly before you continue that.
Yeah.
I've said Ligt is a player he needs to be comfortable in a team. He needs to be the leader. He needs to be the king leading the line. He's in a team where you've got Chiellini, Cuadrado, Bonucci. These guys are one of the three best leaders in the Serie A, right? He's not comfortable. He doesn't have the dressing room. If you give this guy the dressing room, you give this guy the arm badge, he will control your team. Look, he's done it at Ajax his whole life. Go on, Carlito. Continue.
Oh, no. I'm with you. And, dude, there's a reason why Tuchel is looking at this player in particular. And, part of it is we need to replace Rudiger. And we can't do it with Levi Colwill. We can't. Yeah. And we also need to, eventually phase out Thiago Silva. And I say that respectfully because he can stay as long as he wants. I love Thiago Silva. But this is people say generational, minerals, Mason Mount, all this stuff. De Ligt really is a generational player. If we're going to use that adjective, use it on this guy. He's the real deal. This is a 10-year player. At least he's going to be the next John Terry for us, or at least he could be. And I love it. He's got everything. Plus, he's such a motherfucker. He's such an asshole. So I love that in the defender. And he's got it all, man. This is worth it.
No, I'm with on that. This would be a fantastic. Ryan, what are your thoughts?
Oh, he's a brilliant defender. Everything's been echoed, really. He's a brilliant defender. Let's just be honest, he is better than Rudiger and Christensen. Chelsea fans
way better than Christina.
Yeah.
Chelsea fans lauding these two different players, yeah.
Yeah, Chelsea fans lauding off these two, particularly Rudiger, for 18 months. He's clear of them both. He shouldn't have gone to Juve, to be fair, but learning from Chiellini and Bonucci, in terms of being a centre back, there's not many better teachers you're going to get. Maybe a Thiago Silva, maybe a John Terry when he was playing. That's about it. Not many better defenders you can actually learn from. And people put down all of Juve's being bad these past few seasons down to him when it's not his fault. What can he really do? He's still a kid. He's still learning. But coming to us, and if it is Silva's last season, having that final season to learn from Thiago Silva, you've already learned from Bonucci. I think it's going to be brilliant. He comes in, and I know people say they want Reece James to be our captain, but they let someone who can also captain our team in the future as well. He's a brilliant defender. He is in that bracket of generational. I don't like throwing that tag around. He is actually in that bracket, and he comes in, he really improves us. If he was partnered, if we had Chalobah playing with him, I probably wouldn't worry. Because De Ligt would be able to guide this guy around and just throw him around. He's the defender that I want. Bring him in and Kounde, or him in and Koulibaly, and we're fine. Even De Ligt and Ake, I wouldn't have a problem with. They play together for all of them. So I really hope we get this guy.
And I can't just stress as much as the fact how big this guy is as a leader. 17 years old, this guy is controlling the Ajax team with blinds in it. These already big names are in the team, and he's still controlling it. And I can't stress it enough. Give this guy the change rooms, give this guy the confidence, give this guy the comfortability in the team. If he gets comfortable, not this season, next season, he'll have the arm badge. Because this guy, as I said, I can't stress it enough. He's playing in a team where he's got three of the best leaders in the Serie A. Bonucci, Chiellini, one of the best in the world, and Cuadrado. He can't have the dressing room when you've already got those three players leading the line. That's why he hasn't performed. He hasn't got the comfortability. Give him the comfortability in a team where we've got pretty much no leaders, maybe one or two here and there. But you put him in a team. That's why Tuchel wants him. You put him in a team where we don't have the leadership, but he gets the comfortability, he gets the confidence. He will have the arm badge by next season. And I agree with you on Prime. I think Reece James. Yes, I would love to see Reece James as a captain. Not right now. I think that's why I would keep Jorginho, because if we say Aspie leaves, I would give it to Jorginho for a season. And if we get De Ligt, I think De Ligt gets it the season after. Simple as that.
Yeah, I don't care who's the captain. Just get this player in. It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
I think you could be a captain even if you're not. This is a natural leader, and regardless of who has it, it'll be great.
Yeah, exactly. The best teams out there are natural leaders. Chelsea are our best, even though Terry wore the armband.
Background noise, my man. It sounds like there's a war going on in your midst.
Someone's the coffee grinder a bit loud.
Sorry, the best teams have multiple leaders. Even though Terry wore the armband, we still had Lampard and Drogba and Essien and Ballack, Ashley Cole. Best teams have that, and that's what we need. This is something I kept. I don't want to bring this back to him. It's something I kept complaining about under Frankie Lampard. That we need leaders in this team because you, as a manager, you're just not good enough. Just to get us to a basic level of getting top four consistently. Now, to win things, as well as having a world class manager, you need top leaders in your team, continuously going to guide you and be able to pull you out. People who will stand up and be counted upon when you need them to. Lit is going to be one of those players. We need him because if he goes to City in a couple of years, which he very well could, we'll be here complaining and saying, "Oh, Boehly, why didn't he buy the Lit when he was available?" See, I told you, American owners are no good. Let's get him now.
And 100%. I think the captaincy, I've said this, and I'm a big advocate for captaincies. And that's why this season I was very disappointed with our captain, the way he captained our team. I think he's a fantastic player. I think he's a legend in our books, but he's not a captain. We only had one leader pretty much, and that was Thiago Silva. Again, he didn't really do the best of leadership because it's not really his role as much anymore. We should be having a captain doing that role, but Thiago Silva was pretty much our only leader. Jorginho, I wouldn't even classify him as a leader, but I think he's the best we've got. Again, we need surrounding leaders, not just one. We need a king, we need a queen, we need more people coming in. So De Ligt is a starter, but De Ligt can control the whole team. He did that for Ajax. This guy's just a born leader. But just quickly, Carlito, you go. I'm back in 1 second. So just continue on De Ligt.
Yeah, I even when he was talking about captain, I actually forgot that Azpilicueta was the captain. I'm not even kidding you. I thought that I've never been the biggest Azpilicueta fan in my life. I always thought that he did more yelling at the referee than to his own teammates, and that to me is not leadership. That to me is deflecting. And I'm happy to see him go. Now, a lot of people might think that is blasphemous. I don't really care. What do you think, Prime?
What about the Lit?
No,
What about
Azpilicueta. Yeah.
I would keep Aspie. Again, people say he's finished. I don't really think he is. In terms of being a wing back, he is, yes. But again, if last summer had went the way it was supposed to, we would have got Hakimi or Adama Traore. We would have got a right wing back backup, and Aspie would have been used to play as a right centre back, which he should be playing in now. I would keep Aspie as a backup right centre back because say we get Kounde and he's out injured, the only other option we have is Chalobah, who's not good at all. So the option is Chalobah or a finished Aspie. I'd rather trust Aspie.
Oh, I'd rather just replace him. I feel like I do think he's finished. I think he's played too many games.
I know, but again, we can't. People need to realize we're not going to fix everything wrong with our team in one window. No. So, if we're being smart and we're being tactical, and plus we've let so many players have gone anyway. Rudiger, who is a presence in the dressing room, whether or not he's a leader is questionable. He's a presence in the dressing room. He's gone. Christensen, whether or not you rate him as a centre back, he's gone. We're losing so many players anyway. To let go of another person who we don't need to me, doesn't make the most sense. So I'd keep Aspie. I don't mind keeping him. So long as we get a right wing back cover, I don't mind keeping Aspie. But if he's being kept to be right wing back, then he has to go.
Okay. Yeah, here's a little update as Matt is still coming back. This is from Ben Jacobs an hour ago. Leeds has still not accepted any Barcelona offer for Raphinha, but advanced talks continue. Barcelona feel progress made and want to pay any fee in installments. Leeds want a higher guaranteed fee because of this. Barca's offer is still lower than Chelsea's £60 million. So there you go. That's a little update for you.
Yeah, I think I had them on the screen just before about Ben Jacobs. But have we finished on De Ligt? Is there any more add-ons anyone wants to say about De Ligt?
I love him. Hope we get him.
Pretty much. A lot of Chelsea fans are on the spectrum about him. I think, if we get Koulibaly, I won't be upset. I think Koulibaly is still a great player. But if you want someone for the future, I know we need someone now, a prospect player now, like someone who's got experience. I wouldn't mind a Koulibaly still, but I think this will be the best option. Now, going into the next topic, and this is a big topic. I'm one to very highly disagree on this play coming to Chelsea, and it is Neymar. We are in talks, as people claim, whatever, that we are in talks of getting Neymar. I am highly, highly against Neymar.
Me too.
And I think a lot of people should be. If as a PR signing, if we want marketing, if we want this and that, fantastic. You know what? I don't care. Bring him in, but we mustn't forget him. He has to play on this pitch, and playing on this pitch resolves a thing called work ethic. He has zero of that. This guy takes 6 weeks off for his sister's birthday. He fakes his injuries. He's injury prone. He's got too much things going about for him to come to Chelsea. I personally will not take him at all. Like I think Carlito, you put a thread up yesterday, and I pretty much mirrored the same thing on Augs's channel from the Green Turf. I pretty much mirrored that, and a couple of hours before you said it, because you're 100% right. There was the thing, he's on 600K a week. He's injury prone.
Oh,
he's got
I got
all
it right
these
here.
problems to him. Actually, I'll bring it up. I'll bring it up.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Get your thoughts on Carlito, and we'll go to Prime. Thoughts on Neymar to Chelsea?
Oh, I think I think that he's past it, man. He is past it. This guy. Look at it. By the way, if you want to tell how a person is doing, look at their face. Neymar looks bloated. He looks like he's been on a 24-hour party circle for 2 years. He's lazy and he's not to be trusted. Oh yeah, this is my tweet from yesterday. Here's what Neymar brings to the team: 1.08 million per week in wages. I'm not joking about that. Missing half the training sessions. That's documented. Things have come out from Paris about him just not even showing up. And then when he does show up, he's hungover. He misses 6 weeks for injury every spring. Apparently his sister's birthday is 6 weeks long. And that's in crucial Champions League time, by the way. And he's done this every spring. It's crazy.
I can't believe he gets away with it. Like teams, because he brings so much money in, teams just don't look at it. I just can't believe it.
Yeah, he's 30 years old, and people think that he's the 24-year-old player from Barcelona. He is certainly not, because when he was at Barcelona, he was unbelievable. But he also had structure, and he had people holding him accountable. Dude, at Paris, no one's telling him shit.
Yeah.
And he's just gotten used to it. He's gotten fat, and he's gotten lazy. And by the way, we're a pressing team. He doesn't press. So what are we even talking about here? He walks around.
And again, And again, to the point of that, people will say Tuchel will turn him around. I think this is the one player Tuchel unfortunately cannot turn around, because Neymar has one. I love Neymar. I think I look up to him. I think he's a great player. He killed at Barcelona. I remember the MSN days. I grew up watching MSN. I love that so much. But Tuchel cannot fix him. Even Tuchel cannot fix. This guy unfortunately has the work rate that he only brings to Brazil. He'll put him in Brazil, but you put him in a club, he's not going to do that. Now, obviously, PSG are not going to send him out, say on loan, and pay half his wages. If you think that, you're delusional, because Mbappe has a say in this in as well. He's an ambassador. So let's assume that Chelsea want to get him on loan. You think Mbappe wants to get rid of Neymar, Mbappe, Messi, and you think PSG want to get rid of that? You know how much money that brings in for PSG? That brings them so much money, just having that front three just there. That's why Mbappe doesn't try. Neymar doesn't try in this league. So what do you think he's going to come in to the hardest league in the world and perform here? I don't see it.
With brutal fans.
Yeah, brutal fans and brutal media. And Navani adds, big up to Navani, who says there's no place for Chelsea in the squad. Get Dembele for free and buy. Oh, okay, we'll get into it. Football. Are you going to any of the United games in Melbourne? I'm not going to the stadium, but I'm gonna go watch it just close by and just see. But I think if you're there, we'll get a quick vlog or match review, because I know you're gonna be there. But United is coming to Australia, United Palace, so that'll be some good fun to see. But Prime, thoughts on Neymar to Chelsea? What are your thoughts on it?
I don't know. Since he's gone to PSG, has he really done well? He's either out injured or He went to PSG to get out of Messi's shadow and win the Champions League. He hasn't really done that, or not really. He hasn't done that at all. And now Mbappe's taking that shadow. I don't know. I I just think it's just easy to link us with him because he's a player that used to play under Tuchel and he loves Tuchel. Like, but I don't think he's going to come to us and work, especially when if he comes in, we have to build around this guy. He has to be the marquee name. It can't be that. It can't be that Mason Mount, the glue, or Havertz is the key figure. Neymar has to be the key figure. Everything has to be built around Neymar. And can you trust a guy that's not really going to stay consistently fit when you need him in the title running or in the big Champions League games in the quarterfinal, in the semi-final? Can you trust him to stay fit? And also, this is the Premier League. When he has to go play, I know Burnley aren't in the Prem anymore. When he has to go to teams like Burnley and Sheffield United or Brentford and stuff like that, and he's getting crunching tackles all the time, will he not just get injured again, or will he shy away, or will he cause more trouble than he's actually worth? Because people don't want Lukaku because of the interview stuff. Like, maybe Neymar won't give an interview like that per se, but will Neymar not be more trouble than what Lukaku was?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, man. I personally wouldn't have him, but if he comes, then fine. It is what it is. But people are looking more so at the talent Neymar was than what's actually happening in this day and age.
Yes.
Yeah, you see with a lot of these Brazilian guys, Adriano, Ronaldo Nazario, Ronaldinho, Alexander Pato, and now Neymar. They get really into the lifestyle, and around 28, 29, they start to fall off. You know, these guys just don't have the same longevity. And that's fun. They love the party. And look, I loved the party in my 20s too. I'm not even going to lie, but I wasn't a professional footballer with people having enormous expectations on my shoulders, making $1 million a week. Yeah, the guy just doesn't take himself seriously anymore, man. He went to Paris, and his career has never resurfaced. I mean, when was the last time Neymar had a huge moment for Paris Saint-Germain? Seriously. When was the last time he had an enormous moment?
You could say the final on the Tuchel, but
they
again,
didn't
he
win
wasn't
it.
the main part of that. Yeah, second place.
I'm sorry.
Ligue 1's nothing to be proud of as well. It's
yeah, it is, dude. Some of the stadiums have 5,000 people in it. I mean, what are we talking about here? You know, I mean,
they didn't even win it last season, actually, as well. They didn't even win it last season,
buddy. This player chose the money and the lifestyle over the actual sport. And look, do your thing, but don't be asked to be taken seriously if you've no longer become a serious player. If you're not going to be a serious player, do not fucking be asked to be treated like you were 24 because you're not that dude anymore. He's just not. He's not worth it. He's not worth it, man. It's not worth it.
No, I've said that, and I think it's a good point that, you can do what you want, PSG, do what you do there, but don't bring it to a team where we've just got rid of a sore stomach merchant, Christina, a player who doesn't want to play and put his body on the line for Chelsea. We've just got rid of that. Why would we bring a same player who has the same mindset, who takes 6 weeks off for his sister's birthday? I wouldn't bring in. I think he's got natural talent, yes, but he's not even performing in the Ligue 1. Like, what makes you think he's going to come in the hardest league in the world? So much pressure on him. Be the star, be the name, and work out. It's not going to work out for him at all. I would love him to come, just for the vibe, just for the PR, just for everything, but let's talk about the football standpoint. Let's look at where we would be on the ladder next season. The other
thing with Raphinha, because they play on the same national team, Raphinha works his ass off. That's probably another reason why Tuchel wants him. Raphinha's work rate is
have you seen the trend? Like Ligt, Raphinha, you could even say Dembele just recently. Like, these players are working players who want to progress in their talent.
Yeah.
So you see the kind of trend by Tuchel.
You can't just walk around and wait for the ball, man. This isn't futsal. This is, you have to play both sides of the ball if you want to be a truly top player in a league like England. Like, you cannot take plays off. You can't, because Mo Salah scores like 30 goals a season. He never takes a play off. He never takes a play off. These guys, the top players, Riyad Mahrez, you would think would take plays off. He doesn't. Bernardo Silva never stops. Like, these guys, they bust their ass on both sides of the ball. That is why they're still in the game.
Mm. So it's looking good. Crystal Palace has a game today, apparently. So their preseason is looking now just quickly. So they've got a game on in 15 minutes, and wow, so they're already playing. And again, our preseason does start today, so
It
players are making
does.
their return due today. So that's going to be interesting to see. Because again, we've got a lot of players coming in: Gallagher, Gilmore, Bakayoko's coming back, like Batshuayi is
Oh
coming back.
no!
All these players come back.
Jesus
So
Christ!
they have to come back. They have to prove themselves. Bakayoko has to come prove himself. Batshuayi, like these guys are going to be in the team.
Drink
But
water.
before Carlito leaves, I want to get drink water is gone. His contract's ended.
Oh my God! It's only taken 6 years.
I know. But before Carlito leaves, I want to add this one point that I think we'll discuss it briefly, but I've seen a lot of this Bowie hijacked, and people saying, does he know what he's doing? Carlito, you go first. I'll go to Prime second. Because I know you want to talk about this. People were saying that Bowie, because we're hijacking these players. Richarlison, you wanted to get last minute. Now Jong, which we'll talk about next, and all these other players. Do you think what the people are saying are right? Does he know what he's doing?
Yes. He just won a World Series with the LA Dodgers. He knows what he's doing. And if people don't think that translates to European football, shut the fuck up. This is a business, man. This is a all players are mergers and acquisitions. It translates across all types of business. So the Premier League is not special, and you don't have to be a special type of businessman. You just don't have to be Ed Woodward. Okay? As long as you're not Woodward, you'll probably be all right. And if you've got a ton of money and influence, you'll probably be all right. As for Boehly, dude, he's dipping his toe in a bunch of waters. He's putting some feelers out there. Who gives a shit? If we don't get De Jong, big deal. At least they know we wanted him. Okay? As for this Raphinha thing, dude, we weren't talking with Raphinha until 2 weeks ago when he all of a sudden went to Leeds and he's like, hey, man, how about this offer? I don't even know if Barcelona can handle this offer. But if Barcelona does handle this offer, it means Dembele is free. So either we get Raphinha or we get Dembele. But the only reason that we're now making a leverage play for either one of these players is because Boehly went up to Leeds and just said, hey, guess what? I'm trying to hijack this Barcelona bit. Barcelona's not hijacking us on Raphinha. This has been their deal since March. So all these things, the narrative is weird. And part of it is that a lot of people want Boehly to fail. And I hate to say it, it's because he's American. It's because he's not Roman. It's because he's new. And it's because this is Chelsea. Okay? But in terms of the hijacks, bro, I want a ton of players to know that we want them. Absolutely. Because that just means if one of the deals falls through, we've got a ton to pick from to fall back on. This is great. I love this shit because people are now concerned about Chelsea. Boehly's jet set and he's living on a private jet right now, doing deals, doing potential deals, getting this Sterling thing done. Great business. All right. So we will be able to make mistakes because we have a ton of things to fall back on because Boehly has let people know we're open for business.
And I think, it's just people want us to fail,
Yeah, of course.
New ownership, like when Newcastle, because Newcastle, let's be honest, Newcastle fucking nobodies to the foreign world.
By the way, we did not lose Gabriel Jesus to Arsenal. He was offered to us. He was offered to us.
Again, this post is just horrible. I just wanted to bring this up because, again, we haven't lost Raphinha to Barcelona yet. Richarlison, let's be honest, did he really want Richarlison? So there's just the points I want to bring up. I know you want to speak about it. Prime, I want to know your thoughts on these fans kind of saying that Bowie doesn't know what he's doing. I want you to just know your thoughts on it. What are you saying about this topic?
Also, we weren't snubbed by Kounde. I don't know what the fuck that is. Snubbed by Kounde? Yeah. Where were we snubbed by Kounde? I was in London 3 weeks ago trying to do prep for when we do sign up.
We're not snubbed by Kounde. We're not snubbed by Kounde because we've agreed personal terms with him and we've agreed a deal. That's why Sevilla are looking at buying centre backs. So, look, I don't know why people are saying Tuchel doesn't know what Boehly doesn't know what he's doing, when the reason why Chelsea fans wanted Boehly over all the other people that were interested was because he's a Chelsea fan and loves our club. So why doesn't he know what he's doing in terms of football? He is a businessman. Business is business. Trying to negotiate and buy a deal, trying to buy a company, is there really much difference than trying to buy a player? Yes, there's nuances. I get that. But on a basic level, is there really much of a difference? No, and plus he's not doing it alone. I know we don't have a director of football right now, but he's not doing it alone. He's working with Tuchel. He's working with Tuchel's coaching staff that he has as well. Like, so long as he's going on the recommendations, player profiles that Tuchel wants, then that is fine. I don't see the problem with that.
It's not that complicated.
At least for me, yeah. At least for me, just get through this summer window, and then once the season starts and stuff and it's kicking on, then go and get that director of football. That way, Boehly doesn't have to do all this because he shouldn't be doing all this really. But because we don't have one, and he just bought the club, he's doing it, and he's doing a good job. We've got so many deals that are possible we could do that like it's fine, as opposed to us keeping Marina. And then we don't get rid of Lukaku, he stays, and we don't get rid of Deadwood, and we end up panic buying on a player that we don't really need. Like maybe we probably would have ended up signing Neymar, and then all
at
of a
the
sudden,
end of the window, right? Like at the end of the window,
and we have and then we have the same problem over again, and then you guys are complaining, saying, "Oh, why did we end up buying Neymar? He didn't really want to come to us anyway. Why did we do this? Why did we do that? Get Marina out, get Todd Boehly out. Why did he keep Marina? Why did he keep Lukaku? Like just." Again, until things actually go bad, you have no reason to complain on something that could possibly go bad. Unless you don't believe Boehly is that guy anyways, to which, why did you want him to buy our club? You know, like, I don't know. Just let's see how it goes. Like,
again, it's been 1 month, you know?
Yeah. No. Technically, it's been 1 day because the transfer window's built for 1 day. I'll leave with this because I have to head out. Selling Lukaku may be the most important transaction that Chelsea does this window, because it'll be even more important than the players that we buy. This was an almost immovable asset, considering how low his value is in the market right now, and we still got it done. That is enormous because guess what? Under Marina and under Roman, this would not have gotten done.
Yep. And Carlito ends with that because, again, I'm going to say one more thing before Carlito leaves. Bowie is backing the manager.
Yep.
That's all we got to say to that. He's backing the manager.
Yep.
Carlito, appreciate you joining me me and Prime for this 1 hour, 40 minutes. Oh, sorry, do you want to add something?
No. I just want to say thanks for letting me on, guys. It was nice to chat with you, Prime, and I guess I'll follow you now. I didn't know that I wasn't. Okay, there you go, buddy.
Big up to Carlito, the minerals himself. Always speaking the facts. That's what I said. But at the start of the stream, people were like, that neon guy. He was like, us three plus Jester. Because us three are the one of the only guys who speak the truth. Don't care what we say. We just say it. So Carlito, I'll definitely have you on again. Okay. Appreciate you having time. 4 a.m. or I guess it's like 5:30, 5:50 for you now. So I appreciate you joining. And I'll definitely see you again soon.
See you guys.
Take care. Obviously, Carlito. Guys, go follow his Twitter in the description. I put the link in. Me and Prime will still be here. Prime, how long do you have left? Do you have to be home somewhere soon?
No. Like, the reason why I'm here is because I'm just going out to enjoy the day anyway. So I'll stay as long as we need to. I don't mind.
Okay, yeah. I'm just gonna do about 20 more minutes because again, this series it was massive. I still got a couple more topics to talk about. But we'll get into the next topic because this is a big topic. Not big topic, but it's something I wanted to kind of address. It was the thing on. I don't want to click the article. It was on Jong. Now, obviously, Man United have been the favourites to sign him. And then it's saying Chelsea now are watching developments with Frenkie de Jong. Meanwhile, deals for blah, 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 progressing. Do you want to see de Jong at Chelsea? Because we mustn't forget he is a CDM, but will he fit our system? Now, what are your thoughts on de Jong? I want to hear it from you.
Yeah, he's not a CDM. He's like he's a deep line playmaker. Like,
I mean, he's played centre back for them. He's played centre back for them.
I don't think he's played centre back.
He did under Valverde, because I watched Barcelona. So under Valverde, he played centre back for about 6 games because they were low on centre back. So he's played centre back for them for a couple of games.
Well, no, that was when they were thread. But I mean, in general, he wouldn't play centre back if everyone is fit. Yeah, no, he's Listen, I'd like to get him. He's like an upgrade on Jorginho in terms of potential for the future. But again, same problem people kind of have with Jorginho, like him not being a DM. De Jong isn't that either. You would still need a defensive-minded player to do the dirty work for De Jong to flourish. And I don't mind getting him. It's fine. Like he's brilliant on the ball and everything, and he would suit our system. So I don't mind. But I don't know. I don't think we're truly in for him. Like he's gonna go to Man United.
Yeah. But it brings up the topic on the CDMs now. Like, so I always want Tchouaméni. Tchouaméni fit our system. Love him or hate him, he was the best for our system. He can play six. People, if you watch him, he played six for Monaco. He was a six, and he can also be an 8. Maybe he was a bit better than an 8 than a 6, but he could play the 6 very well. Now people say we don't play with a proper 6 under Tuchel system. So why do we want Rice? Like, it's just this fan base confusing me. So who do you want? As it's like, do we need a midfield? What type of midfielder do we need? Is SMS Is SMS? Is it Rice? Tchouaméni? Who's that guy who comes and fits our system perfectly under Tuchel?
Tuchel really wants Declan Rice. Well, I think so. I'm assuming so. I'm assuming it's not just what the old regime wanted. And Declan Rice is he's a really good DM anyway. Tchouaméni would have suited. De Jong suits as well. So I don't know. Like for me, because of the situation that's happened, the players leaving and how bad our forward line is, the midfield isn't the most dire of situations. As much as I do believe we need one more top class midfielder before we even start looking at Gilmore to come in, the midfield is not the worst case scenario for us. Like we still have 4 quality midfielders anyway. We need to fix our defense. We need a wing back to come in, and we need 2 forwards at least. So out of all of that, like if we can get a good deal if we can get De Jong on a good deal, fair enough. But if we can't, whatever, it's not the worst thing in the world. We know Declan Rice wants to come to Chelsea. So whether we get him this summer or next summer does not make a difference. He's not going anywhere else. So, like, again, midfield is not something that's of huge concern. Chelsea fans saying that Tuchel doesn't like Jorginho or like this or like. Again, we don't actually know what he likes. So, like, just let the manager build and it's fine. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm different, but, like, I don't have a reason to complain. Not yet, anyway. Not unless things don't actually, go well or whatever, then fine. But until now, but until this moment in time, let's just see how things go. And that's not me thinking everything is going to be perfect. But if I'm complaining about things all of the time, like I did that with Frank, I don't really want to do that again.
Yeah.
On a stage where let's just see how it goes.
Yeah, Frank's first us. But, the thing on the midfield is people. I said this tweet a couple of days ago that rivals respect Jorginho more than our own fan base. Jorginho gets highly disrespected. He, Madison came out and said how much he sees of him. Managers come out and say Jorginho is one of the best midfielders. How he portrays. Jorginho won the UEFA Player of the Year. But I thought Kai Havertz scored the goal. Mason Mount assisted, but Jorginho won it. He won. Came top 3 in the Ballon d'Or. Closest since Frank Lampard. So people really got to respect Jorginho's name. And he's put in a shit for us this season. He's playing with painkillers half the season. And he's still putting in a shift week in, week out. Like, Kante is a different story. He's unfortunately didn't play that well this season. Maybe we could see a turnover. But I will not sell Jorginho this season. I will give him a 1-year contract extension. Put him in this year. Maybe we sell him next season if we get a replacement. Does he need a replacement? Yes, he's getting old. He's not going to be, like this forever. But he is still doing very well to the point that we should not get rid of him. Now, if we were to get SMS, he's, I would say, more of an 8. All right. So people want to get SMS. Fine. I love SMS. Great player. But then they want to get rid of Jorginho, our only sitter. We must not forget Jorginho is our only sitter and likelihood of a DM. People forget that he's our only defensive midfielder, not center defensive midfielder, not the position. He's what's it called? His skills is a defensive midfielder. Kovacic is a progressor. Kante is a box to box. Jorginho is a sitter. And as soon as I say Jorginho concierge is in the house already, give him the armband so the Bozos can go. I would give him the armband. I think we said this before. Concierge. I personally would give Jorginho the arm badge next season if Aspie leaves, and then if we get Ligt, I think Ligt gets it the season after. But Prime, what's your thoughts on this whole midfield situation? You kind of briefly said it, but it's not the best midfield, I agree, but it's not something we should be worrying about. But how do we fix it? Say in a couple of years, let's say next season, because I don't see us fixing this season. How do we fix it next season?
Kante goes. We bring in Kante goes. We bring in Declan Rice or a player of that sort of profile, and then we bring in.
What would you call Declan Rice? What would you call him? Just a proper six?
He's a DM. He's a defensive midfielder.
He's
a defensive midfielder. He's a defensive midfielder with technical attributes. He's not old school. He's not a Makelele or anything, but he's got attributes to actually play on the ball and drive with the ball, bring it forward. I also, again, when I spoke about this before about leadership in the team, that's why I'm not getting rid of Jorginho. He brings leadership into something that we lack. I
wouldn't say that to the extent, but he does it. Yeah, he does it. Yeah.
Yeah, and again, if he goes, which I'm fine with, unless you can replace leadership, like we're doing with Ligt or we're doing with Koulibaly, like Rudiger and Christensen are going, or and Aspie, and we're replacing them with experienced players. That's fine. We get rid of Jorginho, we bring in leaders, we bring in experience, and that's what I want. There are a couple of midfielders in Europe.
Go on.
There are a couple of midfielders in Europe I've looked at that I would bring into Chelsea, but we're not linked with them anyway. Sergio Milinkovic-Savic, he's good, but Chelsea fans need to realize, just because his stats, I think he has the most, like something Jester says, he has the most interceptions or something in Serie A, which I don't even think he has the most, but he's up there anyway. He's not a DM. He's a number 8. There's a reason why he has 10 plus goals and assists in the Serie A. Sorry about that.
Sorry, that's fine. I mean, Savic, I've always said he plays on the right-hand side. Does he play on the Sarri? He's an 8. Why? I love getting him, but don't we need a DM at the moment? Because we already have Cover, Mount, possibly Gallagher as our 8. So don't we need a defensive midfielder in such?
Exactly. It would be the equivalent of us playing when you remember when we played Ruben in the double pivot and he was the deepest. That's the same equivalent. Milinkovic-Savic playing our DM just because he's big and strong just does not make sense. I've spoken with people who actually watched this Serie A. So what I'm saying here is not just my opinion. It's things that I've been told, people who have watched Milinkovic-Savic. And I've said that Chelsea fans, they want him to be our DM. How would he do in a double pivot? And they've said Sarri only plays him in a 3-man midfield. Whenever he's played in a double pivot, he's played with a DM. The only time he's played without a DM, immediately after the game, Sarri basically was saying why this will never work and he's never going to do it again. He's always played with a defensive midfielder or a ball-playing distributor. So if he played in a pivot, he would probably play with Jorginho, but that wouldn't work either because Savic doesn't give Jorginho that sort of protection, and Jorginho doesn't give Savic that protection. They both need some sort of defensive-minded player so they can play their game if you're playing a 2-man pivot. So which is why we need to bring in a DM no matter what we do, unless we're playing a 4-3-3 and it's going to be Jorginho with 2 8s in front of him, which is fine, I guess, but Jorginho can't be the only guy we're relying on. He played last season for about a month or so with back pains because Kante and Kovacic were both injured. We can't overwork this guy again, and Kante's just getting more and more injury prone. Kovacic is also injury prone. Our team's going to fall apart again. And we got away with it last season in a way. we might not get away with it next season in terms of trying to get top 4. We can't do that.
I said, no, I agree as well. Like, we are using Jorginho too much, and I agree to the standpoint that you said the fans watch him and he plays with a second DM, and I think that's the thing with a lot of CDMs that we're linked to. Rice. He plays in another DM, so like we needed. If we had Rice, we have to keep Jorginho still. Like people don't understand, Jorginho is not a DM. He plays in a weird position. In Italy, he plays as a DM and does decently well there, even though he's got like Savic in front of him and not Savic, he's got some other players in front of him, and he still does well there. However, he's not a proper 6. Like again, Savic is another example. He's not a proper 6. So it's weird the way Tuchel plays. We play a different system where people say, yes, we don't need a proper 6 because Tuchel doesn't play with it. So what does Tuchel want? Does he want a sitter? Like what do you think Tuchel wants? If he doesn't want a proper 6, does he want a sitter? Does he like? Even I'm asking the question because I don't know the answer. Like, what does Tuchel want in the midfield for a defensive midfielder role? I don't know. Do you know?
I think Tuchel just wants options. That way he can be tactically flexible.
Like would you say so? Like, because if we get Savic, right, it'll be Savic, Mount, cover because say we play 4-3-3, then they'll be our number 8s. So that means we got midfield and Jorginho, and we have to say Kounde will be our only lone 6s, because the same Mount fans want Mount to play in a 4-3-3 as an 8, but then don't want a proper DM for him to work well as. Like it doesn't make sense to me. Like, do you think we play a 3 or do you think we play a 4 at the back next season?
I think it depends. It might be flexible depending on the game. I don't know. Again, that might also be why we're trying to see if we can get Dion. Again, I still don't believe we will. He's going to United, but if we had an option of Jorginho and De Jong as they're not DMs, but let's just use that word because it's easier, as 2 DM options, that's brilliant. That means we can, this 4-3-3 everyone wants to play, we can play that. And we have Mount, we have Kante, Kova, we'd have Savage possibly to keep him. We'd also have Gallagher, even though I don't want him really in the squad, but we'd have those 5 as options playing as number 8s. Like it gives us quality within the squad. So I guess that's what he wants. He wants quality and players that are tactically flexible.
And again, I say this because I don't think we really fix our midfield this season. Like, I think he wants to use the likes of Gallagher and maybe Gilmour, which I don't think Gilmour's ready. I think Gallagher will dictate pre-season, but we have, again, priority more in our defenders line. Like, we're losing Alonso. We've already lost 2 centre-back. Sarr we need to get rid of, and Aspie. Like, I think we start there. Would you say, what would be your priority? Like, because I would say defense first, attack second, midfield third, and then keepers last. What would you say is the priority for our structure of transfers?
Sorry, what are you saying? Our priorities?
Like what hierarchy would you go as? Like, I would go, is the most priority that needs fixing is at defense, then attack, then midfield, then keeper. What would you say is the priority?
Our priority is the defense and attack. I think our midfield is still good enough to go another year, even though it's like we've got at least 1 injury of 1 player. It's still good enough to go another year.
I think we can scrape another year with our midfield, like with Jorginho, with Kounde, because again, these guys aren't the worst players as people say them. Like, try to make them seem. These guys aren't bad players. These are very, very good players still.
But again, this wouldn't be an option if we had got Tchouaméni last summer. This wouldn't be a discussion. We wouldn't be talking about we need another midfielder. We would be saying, you know what, it's fine. We don't need anyone this summer. Maybe if someone becomes available. If De Jong's available, maybe we get him, but we don't need anyone this summer. Let's just focus on the attack. Let's focus on the defense, and we're fine. But because we didn't get anyone last summer, we haven't renewed contracts. We now have to fix a team that we now have to fix holes that shouldn't have been a priority anyway.
Yes. We should have got like. What do you think happened with that Tuchel deal? Because we were supposed to get him for 40 million, and then it was like we never really bid for him. Like we never got him. Now he's worth 100 million. Like that
I
was a
think
massive Marina Owl, and then we went for Saul.
I think again, I don't even think that's a Marina thing. I think our scouts were saying that he's not ready yet, give him another year. So we thought that he would be available for us to buy this summer. Which, if he's only going to get better, which it means more teams will be a bit in for him. We should have bought him and either loaned him back out to Monaco or kept him within the squad. Because the way we have injury-prone players anyway, he would have been our starting midfielder. So.
And again, we would have solved more problems. Like, again, this season coming, we wouldn't need to go for any midfielders. But Tuchel is unfortunately gone. I don't think he does well at Madrid. I think he's got too much competition. He's the guy who needs starting. But we'll go on the last topic of the day, and I just saw this from PYS. He said, a measure of Hudson-Odoi's determination to impress in preseason is reflected on the fact he has barely stopped since the end of last season on May 22nd. He only took a week off and is believed to be going into Cobham to do drills for 4 to 5 weeks. And this is the Athletic understands that major clubs in the Premier League and abroad have inquired about Hudson-Odoi's situation. It is thought that Tuchel rates Hudson-Odoi highly. What do you make of this before I'll give my opinion? So what do you make of this? Hudson-Odoi been training for 45 weeks. Do you think he's fighting for a spot in this team, or do you think we should send him out on loan or even sell him?
Of course he's training. He has to. We can't loan him out because no one wants to take his wages. He's stuck with us. He has to train. Like, again, it's the same stuff that came out, I think, was it near November? That international window, international break, he rejected going with Ghana and going with England to stay and train in the team, and he still wasn't playing anyway. Like, this guy just isn't good. Chelsea fans keep saying, "You're going to see the season. You're going to see the season." And if we're buying someone like Raphinha, or we get a Dembele, or even a Neymar, or whatever, Sterling, this guy is still down the pecking order. He's not playing. So,
I mean, it's good for him. I saw another one where Loftus-Cheek was training. It's like, all right, we get it. These guys are training. It's good he's training. Yes, I agree. It's good, but I would send him on loan. He should have gone on loan last season. He didn't. All right, let's not make the same mistake. Let's pop him on loan to somewhere he can play a full season. Because, again, is he injury prone after the recent, occurrences? He hasn't even played a full season, like, ever, I don't think. Like, he's always, I remember 2019, he was there, but he wasn't. Sarri, he was there, but he wasn't. Lampard, he was there, but he wasn't. So it's like he hasn't really played a full, proper season since I can remember. Maybe I think since his youth days. So I would send him to a big club where he can play. If it's Brighton, if it's the Bayern, if it's somewhere, just send him somewhere where he can play a full season, because we need to see his. Like we've seen with, we have to give him the same chance we gave with Gallagher, Gilmore. Send him on loan. Dictate how he does on loan, bring him back. If he works in preseason, keep him, because at the moment he's nowhere near the starting lineup, nowhere near it. So I don't know, and I want to add that point as well. Loftus-Cheek, sell, keep, or loan.
Everyone who knows me knows my thoughts on Loftus-Cheek. Terminate his contract.
Yeah, I know. I remember me and you had the same views on Loftus-Cheek, bro. He's a
and the thing is, though, if we're playing a 4-3-3, in terms of being a number 8, he's probably our best option, or maybe second best behind Kovacic. Like, he's better than Mount as an 8 by far, but we don't play with a number 8 anyway. All his potential, people hype on about, he's gone. He's 27. He's not going to improve. And if people don't want to be patient with Timo Werner, he's still 25, and he's actually proven, then why, or don't want to be patient with Lukaku, he's proven, why would you want to be patient with Ruben? Because he's from our academy. No, let him go.
Yep, that's pretty much it. Again, I think
also,
Ruben
I've DM'd you something about Callum, that Pai said as well.
Let me. Oh, was it that the clubs were interested in him?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought the major clubs interested in him. But who are these major?
Well,
who are
a
these
few
major
weeks
clubs?
ago, a couple of weeks ago, Brighton were in for him. No, people were talking because I
Really?
remember Jester made this stream. Jester made this joke, I think, on Lewis's stream or something, that Callum's gonna go to Brighton. They don't play with wingers. Is he gonna play wing back again? And he laughed, which was funny. But it's like, if Brighton were in for him or maybe that was a rumor, they weren't really in or whatever. But it's like, these teams that want Callum, I want to know, come forward. Who wants him? Like, take him out on loan or offer him in a swap deal. Because if he's meant to be this amazing, talented player, and by the way, Bayern were willing to offer him 75 mil. So let's just use the same logic. People say Werner's a 50 mil player, Lukaku's a 100 mil player, Callum by proxy has to be a 75 mil player as well. No one's willing to take the 75 mil, 180k, which I didn't even know. I thought it was 120. He's on 180k.
Jeez.
You know how crazy that is? He's on 180, and people complain about how much Lukaku and Werner are on. He's on 180k. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
At least with Lukaku and Werner, they were proven players in other leagues. They were proven elsewhere. So I understand spending that money. With Callum, who had done nothing, giving him 180k to have one goal a season. Why? And we can't get rid of him now.
4 goals, 4 years. 4 goals, 4 years. That damn. I mean, I'll just say, be up to phase. Hope you are well, man. You can always talk in the chat. We'll answer all your questions if you want to, talk by text, and you still be part of the panel. But again, yeah, like, no one wants to sign him for his wages, for his worth. I personally wouldn't sell him. If the offer comes, yeah, I'll go for it. But personally, I wouldn't sell him because I want to see how he develops. We get the same chance to Gilmore, Gallagher, Loftus-Cheek. We gave all these chances, Colwell, all these guys. I want to see how Hudson-Odoi develops. Like, I think he could be. I don't know if he could be something. Maybe he can. Maybe he can't. Nothing we can predict about that. But yeah, I will see what major clubs get interested in him. Again, would you send him to the Premier League if a Premier League club came for him, or would you not send to our rivals? Like, where would you think would be the best option for him to go? Primary there.
Oh, sorry, I might have lagged out.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, can you repeat the end of what you said? Sorry, I might have lagged out.
I was saying, where do you think is the best team or the best league we should say Callum Hudson-Odoi? Yeah, I think, yeah, that was pretty loud. I think Prime Time speaks. Guys, just quickly, guys, before Prime speaks, guys, everyone do please like the stream, guys. As I said, we've still got 8 people in here, and we know Coachilla's live still, Miz was live, August live. I don't know if they're still live, but there was a lot of people who were live. So do make sure to smash that like button if you are enjoying the stream. Comment your thoughts, guys. Hudson-Odoi, keep him, sell him, loan him. Your thoughts. But I was saying, Prime, where's the best place to send Hudson-Odoi? Which league and which team do you think is the best place for if you want to see him develop?
Honestly, go. You need to be away from, not just away from Chelsea, you need to be away from the English media spotlight, because this guy stays in the Prem, he'll have one good month and people will be saying he should be starting for England and we should recall him. Raphinha's not doing well, Neymar's not. No. Let him go to, I don't even know, because apparently Chelsea fans don't rate Serie A because Lukaku did well there, but yet you want Tammy back. Doesn't make sense.
I don't
want him going Bundesliga.
Garbage.
I don't want him going Bundesliga.
No,
because Bundesliga.
Yeah, they have attack. I would send him to the Spanish league. To be honest, I think Spanish league is the second hardest competition.
Yeah,
for attackers, I think it's quite hard though. Despite them being,
I guess like, I don't even know. Just like. I'd just sell him. I don't even know. Like he should take a loan. He should take a loan so we can assess him. let him have a
Yes.
2-year loan so we can assess him. But like, I just don't know. Like this guy's game when he first broke through was taking players on, beating a man. He doesn't do that anymore. So now, what is his game? What does he now do? Because he doesn't do what he used to.
That's why I'm telling you, we have to send him out, assess him. Remember, he's still 21. Like he's gonna be 22 in November. So like that gives him a whole season, or half a season to kind of dictate himself before he gets to 22. So I will loan him. We gave that chance to other players. I would see how it goes. For me, maybe like a Southampton. I wouldn't mind to keep him in the Prem. I agree with that statement that he needs to get out of that English media. Second place, like Real Betis, Sevilla, like those other teams, because I think La Liga is I think it's the second hardest league. I think there is Serie A tax. Like look at Tapi. Tapi is scoring goals there, even though it's something he can never do in the Premier League. Like the goal, if you watch the goals he scores, Lukaku will probably bang it again for Inter because like it's so much easier. Bundesliga, there's the biggest tax there for attackers. You watch the attackers. There was so much space. There was so much time. And Kuku has that. We saw that from Werner, Pulisic, Sancho. Like there's so many just evidence from that. But yeah, I will say from that. But that pretty much wraps up today's stream. We've been live for about 2 hours and 10 minutes. We'll wrap it up here. Appreciate him for joining. Prime, final thoughts. And what are you saying? Final thoughts on Chelsea and where can everyone find you?
Yeah, final thoughts, Chelsea fans. Just relax, give it time, and see how things go. Not all the time we need to be angry and negative, fight each other, and just just like just give it time. In terms of me, my socials are all down there. You can catch me. I post a lot on TikTok and Instagram, so Adamus Prime. Type that in. Actually, my Instagram is _ Adamus Prime. But yeah, you can catch me there.
Okay.
I'm on Twitter as well. I'm on the football terrace. You'll know that. I come on here sometimes when I can. I come on Luce's channel when I can. Check out Football Capital. He was in the chat. I go on there when I can as well. Start everything. I guess I do never a foul. Go on there when I can. Go on Big Expanse when I can. But yeah, just follow my socials and stuff. Subscribe here.
Follow
Obviously.
me on Twitter. Yeah. Follow me on social and obviously retweet it because you retweeted the Football Capital. Like I never knew about them, and then you retweeted I think back in like May or like April, and I found out about them. I was like, oh wow, like these guys are local. Like they do this whole stir. It's amazing what they do. But yeah, be up to front for that. So
big things coming to the Football Capital and stuff. So keep tuning into them. Big things are coming to the Football Capital. I've been told some stuff. Tune into them for the following season. Also, subscribe here as well. Matt is a great guy.
Big up.
You may not always agree with his opinions or agree with mine or whatever, but so it's always civil conversations, and that's the only thing. It's all about having nice civil conversations where at the end of it you can go away and say that at least I understood where you were coming from, even if we don't agree.
Lewis, take notes for your stream. Take notes for your stream, Lewis. that stream's wild, man. That stream's just all over the place.
I know, but Lewis's stream is goated though. Sometimes it's needed.
I love it.
Sometimes it's needed to just listen to Jester and Alex and everyone trying to kill each other. Sometimes it's needed.
Yeah, I love it. I love just going on and just getting better. It's like, it gives us like a refresh. Klasriff, Minerals, all those guys. But yeah, big up to Lewis as well. Obviously, he didn't wake up, so he couldn't join here. Al Lewis, everyone spam Al Lewis next stream. Al Lewis. I was going to tell him a funny story, but he's not here. So we're going to talk about Christensen as well. I want to talk to him about Christensen because there was a wild claim on his stream last week. And that's the Carlito that he asked the question, would you take Christensen back at Chelsea? And there was like 4 people on the panel that said yes. And I went mental. When people said that because I would not take Christensen back at Chelsea. I'm sorry. That guy's done. But yeah, that's enough for debating today. Appreciate it for joining. Again, appreciate the Prime, Carlito for joining, everyone in the chat. I'll be back probably Monday or tomorrow. I don't know. I don't know. Sorry, not tomorrow. Monday I'll be back. So do tune in. 10 a.m., 11 a.m. UK time, probably 10 a.m. because now Coach Chill is back. Don't want to intervene with his time. So I'll do it before because a lot of people like the earlier times. So I'll be about 10 a.m., 10:30. I'll see everyone then. Big ups. Take care. See ya. Up the Chelsea.